to Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts baseball, brought to you on the T-Bolts Radio Network, and a very special broadcast with our partners, Takoma Park City TV. Takoma Park City TV will be recording tonight's game. Julian and I will be on the call. They'll be playing it back, and we'll tell you when that is, and of course we'll bring you the game live on T-Bolts Radio. So, Julian Barron, another meeting between the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts and the Bethesda Big Train in the Cal Ripken Collegiate Baseball League.
That's right, Neil, and this year, of course, the playoff picture a little bit more simple than it has been in years past. Every team does make the playoffs.
Welcome to Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts baseball, brought to you on the T-Bolts Radio Network and a special broadcast of Takoma Park City TV. Takoma Park City TV will be airing this game at a later date, and you'll be able to see it on the cable systems in this area, so please check for that. And of course, we'll bring you information as to when that will be. Well, Julian, it's a beautiful night for baseball, and the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts take on their cross-county rivals, the Bethesda Big Train, in a big matchup in the Cal Ripken Collegiate Baseball League.
That's right, Neil, and this year, of course, the playoff picture a little more simple than it has been in years past. Every team makes the playoffs this year, and we've got a situation where the regular season is slowly proceeding. Right now, if the season were to end today, or to end today, rather, we would see both of these teams make the playoffs, obviously, but they also would receive the first two byes, the 1 and 2 spots, and those are the two teams that will get the byes in this league, the first and second place teams. So if the season were to end today, the T-Bolts would have that first round bye along with the Bethesda Big Train. Tonight they have a chance to prove that they belong.
So we'll get you the lineups as we go along, but we're about ready to start here in this Wooden Bat Collegiate Baseball League. And to take you through the first 3 innings, here's Julian Barrett.
Thank you so much, Neil. We're going to start it off with Christian Jane, Gio Diaz, and Kobe Kato against Yash Rain, who's starting tonight for the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. And here comes the first pitch. That'll be taken for a called strike on the outside corner. The count is 0-1 to Christian Jane.
So Yash Rain for the Thunderbolts has a 1-1 record, an 8.79 ERA in 3 games.
The 0-1 pitch is fouled off to the left side, and it's quickly 0-2 on Christian Jane.
I think Yash is the kind of pitcher, Julian, who needs to get off to a good start in the first inning to have a good game for the rest of the contest.
Yes, he has to build his mojo. Here comes the 0-2, and that misses down and away. So it's now 1-2 on Christian Jane out of the Bethesda Big Train organization. Leading off here to begin this game. Here comes the 1-2, a big swing and a miss, and Jane will go down on the K, 1 down.
So an opening strikeout for Yash Rain, which perhaps bodes good for him as we go through the we go through the Big Train lineup. Yash has pitched against the Big Train before, and we'll get to that as we go along.
Now a chance for Gio Diaz with 1 down and no one aboard. The first pitch to him on the way, and that'll be taken up and in for a ball. They count 1-0. Diaz out of St. Mary's College of California. He's from Brentwood, which is about an hour from Oakland, California. Here comes the next pitch, and that'll be taken up and away for a ball. It's now 2-0.
So Diaz is hitting .321, very good average for the season, and he has 15 RBIs.
2-0 pitch on the way, and there's a called strike on the inside corner, and it's now 2-1. Yash Rain gets 1 back.
So just quickly, Lucas Donlin at third base, Ian McMillan at short, Cade Swisher at second, Luke Trainer at first.
And the 2-1 on the way, that'll miss down and away, and it's all of a sudden 3-1 in favor of Gio Diaz, and Yash Rain has to come to him here.
In the outfield, Dalton Martin, normally an infielder, is playing left field. Dom Ford, again an infielder in center, and Quinn McKenna in right.
Here comes the 3-1, and that'll be a called strike on the inside corner, and Gio Diaz had packed his suitcases and was ready to take off for first base, but instead he goes back down to the batter's box. It's 3-2.
And the home plate umpire, Homer Goet, didn't like that, and if it was close, made the call.
Next pitch on the way, and this one's fouled out of play to the right side, so we'll do it again. They count 3-2.
Bill Northington is the first base umpire, and Lou Cohen is at third. 3 umpires in this league for each game.
The 3-2 pitch once again on the way, fouled back again, and so it remains 3-2 on Gio Diaz with Kobe Cotto on deck. One down and nobody aboard at the top of the first inning. Josh Rain gets the sign from his catcher, Chris Brady, sets and delivers to the plate. This one is lashed to left field. That ball's headed to the corner, but it's going to fall foul. Fortunately for the T-Balls, if that ball had been fair, it probably would have been an extra base hit.
It would have, but it was a good 15, 20 feet foul. So Yash lives to pitch again to Gio Diaz.
Allowed out. So Diaz steps back into the box. And Yash Rain, with those high stirrups on tonight, getting ready to deliver the 3-2 pitch again. Here it comes. And a swing and a miss by Gio Diaz on an off-speed pitch. The second strikeout of the night for Yash Rain.
So a good start for Yash. Now here's the thing. Thunderbolt pitchers have often gotten the first 2 outs. It's been the third out that's bedeviled them. So let's see if Yash can retire Kobe Cotto, one of the best players in the league. Cotto hitting .463. That's otherworldly.
Yeah, he has been stupendous. And Yash Rain looks into him and delivers for the first time. That'll be taken down low for a ball. 1-0 the count on Kobe Cotto.
So the rules in this league are the same as they are in any other league, but the pitchers are kept on tight leashes.
1-0 pitch will miss way outside, and it's now 2-0 on Kobe Cotto, who's from Aiea, Hawaii. That's about 15 minutes from Honolulu. And he's a sophomore at the University of Arizona. This year at Arizona, only had 12 at-bats. Next pitch on the way. That's up and in for a ball. It's now 3-0. And Yash Rain looks like he's pitching around Kobe Cotto the best he can.
Well, it doesn't get any easier as you go down the Bethesda lineup.
Here comes the 3-0, and there's a 4-pitch walk issued to Kobe Cotto. So he gets aboard with the base on balls, and that gives way to the cleanup batter, Tate Soderstrom.
Tate hitting .297, 22 for 74, with 16 RBIs, 20 walks, struck out 16 times.
Yash Rain sets on the mound. Tate Soderstrom steps into the box with a man on first and 2 down in the top of the first inning of this scoreless game. Yash Rain looks back to first and fires just to hold Kobe Cotto over there.
All 3 Thunderbolts catchers, Julian, are in the game. Dalton, or rather Luke Trainer's at first. We'll get to the other 2 after this pitch.
And here it comes. That'll be a ball. Oh no, a late called strike on the outside corner. Man, oh man.
Chris Brady's behind the plate. Luke Trainer is at first base, and the DH is catcher Tyler Murray. So all 3 catchers listed for the T-Bolts are in the lineup.
Throw back to first, not in time to get Kobe Cotto. So Tate Soderstrom working with an 0-1 count here. Soderstrom takes a moment outside the box and now places both feet back in. And the junior out of the University of Arizona trying to drive in his Arizona teammate at first. Runner goes, here comes the next pitch. It's up high, throw down to first base, or rather to second base, not in time. It goes over the head of the infield and into center field. So that'll be a stolen base for Kobe Cotto. He goes down to second, and now he's in scoring position with 2 down and a 1-1 count on Tate Soderstrom.
You'll see a lot of stolen base attempts in this league, either with no runners at second and third, or particularly with a runner at third base.
And the big train, they love to steal when they can. Here comes the next pitch, and that'll be taken for a called strike on the inside corner. So it's now 1-2 on Tate Soderstrom. Matt Thomas is on deck if we get that far. Scoreless game, top of the first inning. Bethesda and Silver Spring, Takoma. Here he comes, and that'll be taken down and away. It's now even 2-2 on Tate Soderstrom. Soderstrom this year with the University of Arizona had 90 at-bats, 22 hits, amounting to a .244 batting average.
Doing well in this league, though.
Man at second, 2-2 count with 2 down. Here comes the pitch. Soderstrom swings and misses, and Yash Rain has struck out the side in the top of the first inning. So that'll do it here for the top of the first. We go bottom one on the T-Bolts Radio Network. Your scoreless game coming to you live in just a moment.
So an impressive first half inning from Yash Rain, I'd say.
Definitely, definitely. Yash Rain has shown that he's willing to turn up the velocity a little bit to bring out these the swinging bats of the Big Train lineup. So far tonight, we've seen Christian Jane, Gio Diaz, and Tate Soderstrom all strike out, and that is largely accredited to And welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network presented by CQ. We go to the bottom of the first inning, and the T-Bolts of the Big Train are tied up 0-0. As taking the mound for the Bethesda Big Train is Nathan Schneider. And Neil, last time Schneider took the mound against the T-Bolts, he had a little bit more success than he did the first time of the year he took on the T-Bolts, where he gave up 11 runs in the third inning of that game, I believe it was.
He was charged with 6 earned runs in that game,
yes.
But he pitched 1 inning in the next appearance by the Bolts at Shirley Povich, an 8-1 win by the Bethesda Big Train.
That's right. It was an 11-run inning for the T-Bolts, and Nathan Schneider got pulled halfway through. And so we'll see if he fares better tonight against this T-Bolts lineup. Led off by Cade Swisher, Lucas Donlin, and Luke Traynor. And here comes Swisher to begin the bottom of the first.
Out of Virginia Tech University, Cade Swisher.
Swisher stands in with an opportunity to get the T-Bolts started off right tonight. And he stands in as Nathan Schneider sets his feet on the mound and gets ready to go. And here comes the first pitch to Cade Swisher. That is taken for a called strike of the knees, the count 0-1. Swisher, a rising freshman at the Virginia Tech University. Next pitch on the way, and that'll miss just a little bit high and away. It's now 1-1.
So Cade got here June 8th, June 9th, June 10th, and has pretty much stayed in the lineup. And he's had some big hits for the T-Bolts.
Here's the 1-1, and that'll miss down low and away. It's now 2-1 on Cade Swisher.
Hitting .238, I believe.
Swisher coming to us from Cosby High School in Midlothian, Virginia. Next pitch on the way. This one's hit up the middle, and that's through for a leadoff base hit. Cade Swisher gets aboard at first base with a single, and that's exactly how you want to start the night.
And here comes high school phenom number 2, Lucas Donlin. Luke batting second tonight. It's the first time we've seen this.
And he'll have an opportunity, a righty-righty matchup here, with a man on first and nobody down. Scoreless game, bottom of the first. Nathan Schneider looks in for the sign. He's ready to go, and here comes the pitch. And the first pitch will be a called strike of the inside corner. The count 0-1.
Lucas hitting .304, 17 for 56, 9 RBIs. He's drawn 6 walks, struck out 8 times.
The 0-1 pitch from Nathan Schneider on the way, and that'll just miss outside. The count is 1-1 on the man out of Great Falls, Virginia, staying in state to play his college ball at Virginia Tech, much like Cade Swisher, who's now on base. And here comes the 1-1. This one's ripped foul to the left side. One to the count with a man on first and nobody down in the bottom of the first inning. And Nathan Schneider on the mound for Bethesda, getting ready to deliver. Here it comes, a big swing and a miss, and Lucas Donlin will go down on the K.
And it looked like Cade Swisher was breaking, but he got back in time.
Luke Trainer.
So that'll give way to Luke Trainer here with 1 down and a man at first base. Scoreless game, bottom of the first inning. Luke Trainer coming to us from Leola, Pennsylvania. He goes to Millersville University. He's been having a pretty good season with the T-Bolts so far.
370, I'd say that's a pretty good season.
Schneider sets, and he's ready to go. Here comes the first pitch to Trainer, and that'll miss down and away for a ball. The count 1-0. Ian McMillan on deck.
Luke with 12 RBIs, 11 walks, 4 doubles.
And here comes the next pitch from Schneider. This one sent foul to the left side, out of play. So it's now 1-1 on Luke Trainer.
I think they wanted Luke's left-hand bat in the lineup tonight. So even if he's not catching, he's out playing first base.
I think you're definitely right about that, Neil. They've focused on making sure they've got the advantage in those lefty-righty matchups tonight. 1-1 on the way. Runner goes. Here comes the pitch, and it's lined foul to the left side. So Cade Swisher will head back to first, and now Nathan Schneider knows his intentions.
Luke likes to go the opposite field, and I think most of his hits have been to the opposite way. Likes that big gap between shortstop and third base on the left-hand side of the diamond.
And now he's got a 1-2 count on his head. With a man at first and 1 down, Nathan Schneider winds and delivers to the plate. That'll miss just outside, and it's now even 2-2 on Luke Trainer, who, Neil, I'd say has a very good batting eye.
He does. A lot of these Bolt players have good batting eyes, as do most of the players in the Cal Ripken Collegiate League. I mean, these are the cream of the crop here.
2-2 pitch from Nathan Schneider is on the way to the plate. Runner goes again. This one's lined to the left side and out of play again.
That's into the Bethesda bullpen.
And Luke Trainer not doing Cade Swisher any favors here, because every single time.
Exhaust him.
That's right. Every single time Cade has tried to take second base, Luke Trainer's hit it out of play.
Right, but if Luke can punch it down the left field line, Cade's going to score.
Risk and reward. It's all about balancing the two. Man on first. 2-2 count here on Luke Trainer with 1 down. Here comes the pitch, and that'll miss high and away for a ball. It's now full 3-2 on Luke Trainer.
So we'll see if Cade Swisher takes off again.
I wouldn't be surprised.
This might be a good pitch to do it.
3-2 pitch from Nathan Schneider is on the way to the plate. Runner does not go. This one sent to the left side and through for a base hit. So Luke Trainer gets himself a solid single through the infield, and runners on first and second with only 1 down for Ian McMillan.
Ian McMillan.
Well, Ian McMillan batting cleanup tonight, hitting .286, but has had a lot of timely hits for the T-Bolts. When they've needed him the most, he has come through. He does have 1 home run hit here at Blair.
Men on first and second, 1 down, and Nathan Schneider trying to escape the jam for Bethesda. Here comes the first pitch to Ian McMillan. That misses down low, and the count is 1-0 on Ian McMillan out of the University of Houston.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to double steal here. We've seen that a lot in the league in recent weeks. There they go.
1-0 on the way, and this one's ripped to the right side and through for a base hit. That one's headed towards the warning track, rolling all the way to the wall. 1 run has come in. Here comes Luke Trainer in to score, and it's a 2 RBI triple for Ian McMillan, and it's 2-0 T-Bolts.
So on that play, Cade Swisher broke to third. Luke Trainer held off, but as soon as the ball went into right field, off he went, and so 2 runs in and a runner in scoring position with less than 2 out for Tyler Murray.
So Ian McMillan coming up big in the cleanup spot tonight so far with that triple.
What did I say?
And Tyler Murray with a chance now with a man at third and only 1 down. It's 2-0 T-Bolts in the first pitch on the way. That'll be taken outside and high for a ball. 1-0. And Nathan Schneider seems to be a little bit rattled here. This is deja vu, because we saw this happen when the T-Bolts faced him in Bethesda. 1-0 the count, and here comes the pitch. Big swing and a miss, and the count is now even 1-1.
So Murray just has to get the ball to the outfield or deep into the infield. The Bethesda infield is playing back. Drew Hamrock even with the bag, almost at third. Shelly Samard back at first.
And here comes the next pitch, a big swing and a miss. And the count is now 1-2 on Tyler Murray. Over there at third base, Ian McMillan is creeping off the bag.
Well, on any kind of wild pitch or pass ball, he's coming home.
We saw Bethesda issue a steal of home plate against the T-Bolts.
With a 10-run lead, I might add.
1-2 on Tyler Murray. Here comes the pitch, and that curveball will just miss inside. It's now even 2-2 on Tyler Murray. Murray standing back in. The senior out of the University of Hawaii. Waiting for the pitch from Nathan Schneider. Here it comes. And that'll be taken down and away. It's now full 3-2 on Tyler Murray with a man at third and one down. The T-Bolts leading 2-0 after the 2 RBI triple from Ian McMillan just a moment ago.
So this is the second full count from Nathan Schneider.
And here comes the 3-2 pitch. This one sent to the left side and past. A diving Torres for a base hit. Reaching at first base is Tyler Murray. Coming in to score, Ian McMillan. And I would suppose, Neil, that's going to be a single and an RBI.
Oh, I have no doubt. Keith Torres went to his right, tried to glove it, could not. Made a great effort to get there. So the Thunderbolts score 3 here. And they still have a runner at first and just one down.
So as you said, Neil, 3-0 Bolts here early. One down, runner at first. Here is Dalton Martin. First pitch to him is taken just a little bit low and outside for a ball. It's 1-0 on the man out of Tusculum University, the terror of Tusculum. Nathan Schneider looks back to first and now gets ready to deliver. Here it comes. And that is a called strike of the outside corner. The count is now even 1-1. And now Dalton Martin's having a word with the home plate umpire, not agreeing with the call.
Now, you talked to him today. What does he think about his hitting and the pitching in this league?
I can tell you he feels that no matter who he's facing, where he's facing, as here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it's a called strike of the outside corner, now 1-2. He feels that his approach should be the same no matter who he's facing or where he's facing. He says the pitching in this league has certainly got some extra velocity compared to what he's used to facing, but his approach has stayed the same. 1-2 the count on Dalton Martin. Nathan Schneider sets and delivers to the plate. This one fouled off to the right side, and it remains 1-2.
So Dalton, the left-handed batter, I think has a very sweet swing. And when he does connect, makes contact, he does get hits. Big opening on the right side of the infield.
Schneider, once again, getting set to deliver the 1-2 with a man on first and one down. T-Bolts leading 3-0. Here comes the pitch, and there's a called strike 3 on the curveball, and Dalton Martin is the second out of the inning.
So Schneider has 2 strikeouts, but has allowed 4 hits and 3 runs.
And now a chance for Quinn McKenna with 2 down and nobody, or rather with 1 aboard over there at first base. T-Bolt's up 3-0. And here comes the pitch. That is up high for a ball. The count is 1-0 on Quinn McKenna, out of Lehigh University.
Quinn, the right fielder, does have power. Got 2 home runs this year.
1-0 pitch to Quinn McKenna is on the way, and this one is ripped foul to the left side. That one maybe headed back to the parking lot. And did it hit a car out there?
I don't know. All I saw was the car stop.
It may have been all the way out towards University Boulevard.
Whoever was driving said that's not my fault.
1-1 the count here. Runner goes down to second base. Got a great jump. There will be no throw. And going into second uncontested is Tyler Murray.
It was a breaking ball, and it just didn't get to the plate in time for Cade Hunter to make a throw that would have any chance. of getting Tyler Murray. So Tyler Murray, not the usual base stealer that you find on these teams.
And it was a ball inside, and so it's now 2-1. Here comes the next pitch, and that's down and away for a ball. So it's now 3-1 on Quinn McKenna, trying to prolong this inning for the T-Bolts with a man in scoring position at 2 down. No shortage of offense early for the T-Bolts in this one. Here comes the 3-1. This one tapped on the ground, fell to the left side, back towards the Bethesda dugout. So we'll do it. We'll move up to a 3-2 count, rather.
The catcher, Chris Brady, is on deck. He would be followed by Dom Ford if the inning keeps alive.
3-2 the count with 2 down and a man at second. Nathan Schneider of the big train kicks and delivers, and that will miss outside. So Quinn McKenna draws the walk and sends this one into the hands of Chris Brady, who will come to the plate with men on first and second.
University of Charlotte, Chris Brady.
Well, Chris has shown an unusual ability to get on base, no matter how he does it, through hits or walks.
He's gritty, he's crafty, but that works. And now we're going to have a meeting at the mound with Nathan Schneider. And someone's not happy.
There is some activity, some soft toss in the Bethesda bullpen.
And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Neil. I don't think they're going to take him out here. I think it's just a pep talk.
I would agree with you. 4 hits in the inning.
He does have 2 strikeouts, so when he's been on fire, it's worked. But when he hasn't, it's been really catastrophic for the big train so far.
The big hit in this inning was Ian McMillan's triple, which drove in Luke Traynor and Cade Swisher with the first 2 runs of the game. And then Tyler Murray's single brought home McMillan.
So assistant coach Galvin Morris goes back down to the dugout, and stepping back up to the plate is Chris Brady with men on first and second and 2 down. The T-Bolts already lead 3-0, bottom of the first. Here comes the pitch, and this one's set in the air right side, and that one's drifting towards foul territory. It's going to fall foul and out of the reach of both Soderstrom and Vincelli Simard, excuse me. Practice my French.
Yeah, he's from Quebec.
Oh, 0-1 count on Chris Brady. Here comes the pitch. Curveball will be a called strike.
Nice pitch.
It's now 0-2 on Brady.
That was a very nice pitch that drifted over the corner.
So Brady, and a little bit of a hole here. 0-2 against Nathan Schneider. Here comes the pitch, a big swing and a miss, and that'll do it for the inning. So you gotta really wonder how Nathan Schneider feels right now. He's given up 3 runs, but he also struck out the side. So it's 3-0 T-Bolts as we head to the top of the second. A peculiar bottom of the first. You don't always see a pitcher surrender 3 runs, but also strike out the side.
Well, no, you don't, but for the T-Bolts, a rare lead on the Bethesda big train of 3 runs.
So we'll see what happens down the stretch. It's going to be a fun one. Stay with us. We'll let T-Bolts review after this. welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network presented by CQ as we go to the top of the second inning. And it'll be Matt Thomas leading it off for the Bethesda Big Train as they trail to the T-Bolts 3-0. Yash Rain winds and delivers the first pitch. This one skied in the air towards right field. Going over to Quinn McKenna. In foul territory, he cannot get to it. And it's an 0-1 count on Matt Thomas.
Well, that was a close play. Quinn gave it a real effort, just bounced about a foot in front of him in foul territory.
So Matt Thomas will go back to the batter's box. An 0-1 count on his head.
Batting .314, 22 for 70, 23 RBIs, drawn 24 walks.
Here
Struck
comes
out 20.
0-1 pitch taken up high for a ball, and it's now even 1-1 on Matt Thomas, who's out of Lovettsville, Virginia. He's about an hour away from Silver Spring to our south. Here comes the 1-1. There's a called strike on the outside corner, and it's now 1-2 on Matt Thomas. Thomas goes to William & Mary, so he's a Virginia guy through and through.
Partner Nate Fresh will be slowly.
1-2 pitch on the way, and this one's tapped on the ground, down to short, backhanded by McMillan. He fires to first in time to record the out on Matt Thomas. A really tremendous play by McMillan.
Yeah, the ball seemed to die as it got to Ian. He had to really run and hustle across his body and throw to Luke Trainer, not throw it away, which he did.
So Drew Hemrock now with a chance, with one down and nobody aboard. Yash Rain winds and delivers, and there's a called strike on the outside corner, a late call, but a strike call nevertheless, and it's 0-1.
Which one do you want?
No, we have to shut it down because he hasn't caught.
Here comes the 0-1. This one's fouled out of play back behind us. And so it's quickly 0-2 on Drew Hemrock.
Hemrock's hitting .214. No, I don't. This is a guy you want to get out.
How about this?
Comes the 0-2, and that's up high and away for a ball. So it's now 1-2 on Drew Hemrock out of Roswell, Georgia. That's just a short drive up Georgia Route 400 from Atlanta. Here comes the 1-2, and a big swing, and it missed by Drew Hemrock. He will go down on the K, and that is the fourth of the night for Yash Rain so far.
Well, things going really well for Yash Rain in this appearance against the Big Train.
And now a chance for Keith Torres. Torres comes to the plate with two down and nobody aboard. And the first pitch to him will be taken for a called strike. It's an 0-1 count on Torres out of Sacramento State University. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. That'll just miss outside, and it's 1-1.
Murray tried, rather not Murray, Chris Brady tried to frame that. Maybe get a call from Homer Gowett. Didn't work.
1-1 pitch on the way, and that's taken way inside. I think they're going to say it hit him, and it did. So that is Yash Rain's bugaboo hitting batters, and we see the first hit by pitch of the night.
Yes, here he is, really doing well, sailing through the lineup, but now you don't want to open the door to a Bethesda rally, but there are two out.
Man on first base, as you said, Neil, two down. And Cade Hunter, the eighth batter, coming to the plate against Yash Rain. First pitch on the way, and that's up high and away for a ball. They count 1-0 on Cade Hunter, getting the started catcher tonight for the Big Train.
Hunter hitting .208, 5 for 24, so he hasn't had a lot of at-bats this season.
And here comes the 1-0, a big swing and a miss. And the count is now 1-1 on Cade Hunter, who's headed to Virginia Tech next year, much like a couple of T-Bolts I can think of, Lucas Donlin and Cade Swisher.
We have a couple of Virginia Tech guys, Ryan Okuda, pitcher.
Runner goes, here comes the next pitch, and that's way up high, gets away from Brady momentarily, and safe at second base is Keith Torres. So it's now a 2-1 count on Cade Hunter with a man at second and two down. Cade Hunter is a native of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, which is an eastern suburb of Philadelphia. He went to Lenape High School. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that's down and in, gets away from Brady, who's able to block it and make sure that Keith Torres can't take third. It's now 3-1.
So Yash has to be careful here
You can say that again.
because Vincelli Simard is hitting 195, but
You-
9 RBIs, so his hits have counted.
Everyone's dangerous in this Cal Ripken league. 3-1 the count with a man at second and 2 down. Here comes the pitch. This one's skied in the air, foul out of play over the Big Train dugout. So it's now 3-2 on Cade Hunter. Hunter really fighting here to prolong the inning for the Big Train and perhaps bring in a run. It's 3-0 T-Bolts in the top of the second inning. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. A big swing and a miss by Cade Hunter. He goes down in the K, and Yash Rain is on fire tonight. 5 strikeouts so far. We go to the bottom of the second inning of the T-Bolts Radio Network.
Sam, why are they video recording? I'll go ask Dick. I'll go ask the owner.
Ford, a big swing and a foul back. And the count is 0-1 on Dom Ford. With a 148 batting average on the year, Ford trying to get it back in his groove. He struggled as of late.
He has, but he's also a guy who hit 337 in college.
0-1 pitch on the way. Big swing and a miss. And the count is quickly 0-2 on Dom Ford, who is not wearing his, I would say patented, but I think it's just an extra stylish golden helmet for Dom.
Maybe he's trying to change his luck.
0-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back.
In the field, though, Dom Ford is a smooth shortstop who makes incredible plays that are difficult to look easy.
He's certainly a gifted player trying to get aboard here with an 0-2 count on his head. Here comes the pitch, and that misses down and away. It's now 1-2 on Dom Ford. Ford, a native of Raleigh, North Carolina, goes to the Queen's University of Charlotte. Coming up to Maryland for the summer. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Dom, and a big swing and a miss. He goes down on the K, and so far tonight, Nathan Schneider has struck out every single out he's gotten has been a strikeout, but he's also given up 3 runs.
So it's either feast or famine for Nathan Schneider, at least to this point in the game.
And now here comes Kate Swisher at the top of the order.
Cade, solid single up the middle to start the game.
And the first pitch to him is taken way outside for a ball. The count 1-0 on Swisher with 1 down and nobody aboard.
I think on balance, Swisher has been a big addition to the T-Bolts lineup.
1-0 pitch on the way, and this one sent to center field. That's down for a line drive base hit. So Cade Swisher will reach at first base, and that's his second single of the night. He's 2 for 2. And now here comes Lucas Donlin. Donlin in the first inning struck out.
But he's proved he belongs in this league.
Oh, yeah.
Hitting about 302, I would estimate.
Man on first, 1 down, and the T-Bolts are up 3-0 in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch on the way, and this one's fouled off to the right side and out of play. So it's 0-1 on Lucas Donlin out of Great Falls, Virginia.
Then where are you getting converted? What? Where are you getting converted?
T-Bolts making contact tonight.
Throw back to first is close, but not in time to get Cade Swisher. You can hear them screaming pickoff from the T-Bolts dugout.
Well, we've had a few picked off. Got to be alert.
0-1 the count, and Nathan Schneider delivers. Donlin will take it up and in, and it's now even 1-1 on the youngster headed to Virginia Tech University next year. Man on first, 1 down, and a 1-1 count on Lucas Donlin. Here comes the pitch. That's way inside, and it's now 2-1. Nathan Schneider for the big train, just trying to limit the damage, already given up 3 runs tonight. And here comes the next pitch to Donlin. This one's destined for the gap in left center field, but a dive by Thomas. He's not able to get to it. That falls in for a base hit. You could call it a fluke single for Lucas Donlin as he pulls up at first base, pushing Cade Swisher down to second. Then on first and second, Luke Trainer, who singled his first time up.
Well, it looked like Matt Thomas had that and made a terrific catch, but then the ball squirted out of his glove, so when he landed on the grass, that must have knocked it out. But it was a terrific effort by the big train's left fielder.
I was surprised he even got to it. So here is Luke Trainer. Men on first and second and 1 down, and Schneider delivers. Trainer takes it up high for a ball. It's 1-0. Trainer out of Millersville University. And Schneider gets the sign from his catcher, Hunter. Sets. And delivers to the plate. Trainer will foul it off out of play to the left side.
The T-Bolts look very comfortable at the plate so far.
They do. A 1-1 count here on Luke Trainer. The Bethesda infield is playing at double play depth. And now they're going to throw back to second, nearly in time to get the lead runner, Cade Swisher, but it was not. A very close play.
So that's the second time Cade Swisher has been involved in a closer than usual pickoff play.
I'll be honest, Bill, I thought they had him. It was very close.
He just got back.
1-1 the count, and here comes the pitch. That'll miss down and in. Ball gets away from Hunter. Both runners will advance. And now a 2-1 count on Luke Trainer with men on second and third.
We'll see how they rule on that one. They're going to call it a wild pitch.
Seems like the right call.
So runners now at second and third in scoring position. And a base hit could bring in 2.
Would be a huge blow to Nathan Schneider if they can pull this off here.
Well, the Bolts acting like the big train.
Infield comes in big time. They're all standing at the edge of the grass. 2-1 the count with men on second and third, and Nathan Schneider takes a deep breath and now delivers to the plate, and a big swing and a miss by Luke Trainer. And the count is now even 2-2. Trainer singled his first time up, trying to get himself a 2-for-2 start to the day. Now men on second and third, and only chance for Nathan Schneider. Here comes the pitch. This one bounces in, and that is, they're going to say potentially hit him. And now they're going to say it did not. He just couldn't find the ball, and so it's now full 3-2 I think we may be having a scoreboard malfunction here because it says nobody down
There's
up on the
one
scoreboard.
out.
We
down
know that there's
four,
one
struck
down.
Out, yeah.
You could hear my confusion. I was just I was taken aback.
Well, I'll go with your account.
Yeah, I wasn't
Plus,
sure.
I have mine right here.
I have mine too. I second guessed myself. 3-2 the count with one down. Men on second and third. Schneider delivers to the plate, and that's taken down and in, and the bases are loaded after a base on balls by Luke Traynor. Here comes Ian McMillan, the man of the hour, who had a 2 RBI triple back in the first inning.
So Ian McMillan up with a chance to get more runs in. As I've said, he's usually gotten some very timely hits for the T-Bolts.
McMillan, the University of Houston Cougar, stands in with the bases loaded and only one down. Nathan Schneider sets and delivers. First pitch will be a called strike at the knees. The count is 0-1, and Ian McMillan looks back to home plate umpire Homer Garrett and says, I don't know about that.
But we play on.
There's been a lot of chirping between the players and the umpire tonight, at least the home plate umpire. 0-1 on the way, and that'll be taken down low and away. It's even 1-1. And we saw Dalton Martin had a few words for Homer Garrett when he was up back in the first. He eventually struck out looking.
Dalton's having a bit of a rough spell at the moment.
1-1 pitch from Nathan Schneider with the bases loaded and only one down is on the way, and that's taken inside for a ball. It's now 2-1.
Again, a situation where the T-Bolts have runners on base, and as of late, they've not been cashing in on these situations. They did in the first inning. I think to beat this team, they're going to have to do it again.
Ian McMillan awaiting the 2-1 delivery from Nathan Schneider. With the bases loaded, here it comes, a big swing and a miss, and it's now 2-2, and Ian McMillan won the fences there.
He did. He's had one home run here at Blair over the left field fence, which is a pretty good shot. About 360, 370 out that way. But I think right now, T-Bolts coach Doug Reamer would settle for a hit.
2-2 count on Ian McMillan. With the bases loaded, here comes the pitch. This one skied in the air right side, playable. Calling everybody off is the first baseman, Vincelli Simard, and he will make the catch for the first out, or rather for the second out. And now Tyler Murray will come to the plate with 2 down and the bases loaded. His first time up back in the first inning, he singled, got an RBI, so he's 1 for 1.
Murray's single drove in Ian McMillan with the Bolts' third run. Base hit here would be very advantageous for the Bolts in the long-term approach to this game.
Bases loaded, here comes the first pitch, and there's a called strike on the inside corner, and you can see Tyler Murray looks back to the home plate umpire and says, come on, I don't know about that one. He lunged away from him.
He did. But Schneider got the call.
0-1 the count, and Nathan Schneider sets and delivers. That's taken down and away. Nice scoop by Hunter. And the count is even 1-1 on Tyler Murray out of the University of Hawaii. Aloha, Neil.
Aloha to you, too.
1-1 the count with the bases loaded and 2 down. And Nathan Schneider gets the sign from Hunter, kicks and delivers to the plate. That'll just miss high and inside. And the count is now 2-1. The sun is shining here at Montgomery Blair Stadium on this beautiful Monday night. Bases loaded, 2-1 on the way, and that'll miss up high. Hunter tried to frame it, but he could not. And the count is now 3-1 on Tyler Murray. Nathan Schneider doesn't have anywhere to put him.
No, even a walk would be helpful. You don't want to strike out here.
3-1 the count, and Nathan Schneider once again sends it to the plate. This one's ripped to center field, and that ball is falling for a base hit. That one goes all the way to the wall and past Christian Jane. one run is scored. Here comes another, and 3 runs will score as the ball
He's gonna
scooped
come
up in
all
the
the way
outfield.
home.
No, they're going to send him to the plate. Here comes the relay throw home. It's not in time, and Tyler Murray has got himself an inside the park grand slam.
Well, that's why I like coming to the ballpark, Julian. You never know what you're going to see. Christian James dove for it, did not come up with it. The ball skipped over his glove and ran all the way to the 405 sign. But I got to say, the big train did not exactly look speedy in trying to get that ball. Did you think so?
No, and in fact,
They kind of jogged back for it.
it seemed like there was this sense of leisure that you wouldn't normally expect from the big train or even a Cal Ripken League team in general. Now a chance for Dalton Martin. First pitch to him is sent to right field and in for a base hit. So Dalton Martin gets himself a single, and all of a sudden, Nathan Schneider is just collapsing here. Quinn McKenna with an opportunity. He's walked today, and now I think that's going to be it for Nathan Schneider. The T-Bolts have broken it open here.
So 7 runs in the first 2 innings, and now a runner on first. And I don't think the teammates of Nathan Schneider helped him on that attempted dive for the ball by Tyler Murray. I mean, it was a decent dive. He almost had it, but then it skipped over his glove, and right fielder Tate Soderstrom, as you said, appeared to be jogging over. Jane didn't get up and chase it that much. I wonder if he got hurt out of there. Whatever it was, it became clearer and clearer as the ball nestled under the 405 sign that Murray was going to come home. He's not a speedster, but he made it.
Well, Tyler Murray, as you said, took full advantage of that, and he has 5 RBIs on the day. 5 of the 7 T-Bolts runs have come off the bat of Tyler Murray, and now we're going to have a pitching change for Bethesda as the T-Bolts lead at 7-0.
Well, I've been here a while. I don't remember ever seeing an inside the park home run at all, let alone a grand slam. See if we can figure out who the pitcher is if we get a number. Number 31.
Tyler Nauman.
From Jacksonville University, wearing number 31 is Tyler Nauman.
So Tyler Nauman checks in relief of Nathan Schneider. Keep in mind the runner at first, Dalton Martin, is the responsibility of Schneider.
So Nathan Schneider goes an inning and 2/3. We'll see how many runs they officially charge him with. Well, 7. Well, let's see. Yep, 7 earned runs, walked 2, struck out 4, gave up 8 hits.
Now he could potentially give up 8 runs because they have a runner on base right now.
That's
the T-Bolts do.
The Thunderbolts have 8 hits. My goodness.
It has been an offensive onslaught so far today for the T-Bolts, and this is deja vu. We saw them do this to Nathan Schneider in Bethesda.
And a bunch of other pitchers, I might add, too. So this is the 5th meeting between these two, or the 6th. The Big Train leads 4 games to 1.
So Nauman will face Quinn McKenna. First pitch is fouled off to the left side on a bouncer. So it's 0-1 on the man out of Lehigh. The T-Bolts lead 7-0 with a man at first base. 2 down here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Here comes the next pitch, and that'll be a called strike at the top of the zone. It's quickly 0-2 on Quinn McKenna. And here comes the 0-2, and that'll be taken down and away. Quinn McKenna able to hold up his bat swing. And the count is now 1-2 on Quinn McKenna with a man at first base. 2 down. It's 7-0 T-Bolts. Here it comes, and this one skied in the air towards shallow right field. Coming in is Tate Soderstrom. He calls everyone off. He makes the catch, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 2nd inning. But a prolific performance from the T-Bolts offense. We got ourselves 3 hits in the inning, one of them an inside the park grand slam. You do not get to say that very often. And the T-Bolts lead 7-0 on your home for T-Bolts Baseball, the T-Bolts Radio Network. Nothing lead is Neil Levine.
Okay, thank you, Julian. And the T-Bolts, as you said, have scored 7 runs, 3 in the first, 4 in the second. And they will be facing this order for the Bethesda Big Train: Martin Vincelli-Samar, then Christian Jane and Gio Diaz. Vincelli-Samar hitting 195. From Sacramento State, where he's a sophomore, from Boisbriand, Quebec. First pitch from Rain is a strike. So this is a situation for a pitcher like this who's just been staked to a 7-run lead. You don't want to get lazy and give back any. There's a ball, 1-1. And one thing Bethesda can do is score runs in bunches and score them quickly, especially when you think you have them down. So 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch is a ground ball into right field, and that's going to be a base hit. And that's the first hit for the Big Train tonight. So down to first goes Vincelli-Samar, and that brings up the top of the order in Christian Jane, who struck out in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, and we know that the Bethesda lineup can be lethal at times, and I can assure you that Yash Rain is familiar with that. So he's going to be very careful, and he's going to make his pitches, but at the same time, I think that we're going to see Yash Rain pitch with a lot of confidence.
Well, he should. If 7 runs doesn't give you a lot of confidence, I don't know what will. So the first pitch to Jane, we'll keep our eye, and there's a ground ball, and that's going to be up the middle for a base hit. So into center field the ball goes. It's bobbled momentarily by Dom Ford, but no damage. So 2 straight hits here. Down to second goes Vincelli-Samar. On first is Christian Jane. Now that brings up Gio Diaz. Diaz hitting .321 before the game.
Yeah, and that one hitting off the mound, just a tough luck bounce for the T-Bolts, but I think it would have gone up the middle anyway.
I think so. Cage Swisher gave it a try, but it hopped over his glove. So 2 on, nobody out in the top of the 3rd inning. The pitch from Yash is outside for a ball.
One thing I can tell you, Neil, is that when I've watched Yash Rain pitch his fastball tonight, there's been a lot more run on it.
Yes, there has. And he's got to mix it up with other pitches, obviously, but maybe it's his go-to pitch tonight. The next pitch is high for a ball, 2-0.
Well, hitters are usually looking for the fastball, and when you have run on your fastball, you can make it move. That can be so deceptive.
So right now, Yash does not want to load the bases for the Train's big hitters. Here's the pitch, and that's in for a strike. So 2 balls and a strike on Christian Jane. Jane hitting .271. That's Diaz, excuse me. So Diaz up, here's the pitch, and that's outside. So now a 3-1 count to Gio Diaz.
Just barely missed there on Diaz. Kobe Kato on deck. We know he is a prolific hitter.
Kato is only 463. 3-1 pitch, and that's popped up. Will it be playable? Yes, it is. Back goes the second baseman, Cade Swisher. He's under it and makes the play. So a big hitter retired by Yash Rain, and that's one down. And now that'll bring up Kobe Kato, who is the DH tonight. And as I said earlier, Kato's hitting 463, 31 hits and 67 at-bats, 11 RBIs, and he's walked 28 times. So this is a guy that can get on base.
And one thing to note, Neil, the man who's leading the MVP race right now, Jacob Southern, is not in the lineup tonight, so he may be available on the bench.
We'll watch for that. So Kobe Kato, the DH, a left-handed batter, comes up. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike one from Yash Rain. So Yash Rain escapes a 3-1 count to Gio Diaz and gets the out. Now it seems to have a little boost of confidence. The 0-1 pitch to Kato, and that's foul back, strike two.
You hear it clang off the pole here at Montgomery Blair Stadium.
So the crowd has arrived late, but we have a pretty good crowd on hand tonight. Always when Bethesda comes here, it's a good crowd. It's a beautiful night for a baseball game.
And the T-Bolts are winning to bat.
So an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. Way outside, gets away from Brady, and the runners will move. Though Brady's looked like he wanted to throw and then held off.
Yeah, so both runners advance, and that is huge for the big train. Trailing by 7 runs in the third inning. Now with 2 in scoring position, Yash Rain is being put on the hot seat.
Well, it was a high outside pitch, and Brady had to stretch to get it. It hit his glove, but bounded away. So now the 1-2 pitch, or the 2-2 pitch to Kato is outside. Now it's 2-2. Tate Soderstrom's on deck. First base is open. So Rain looking in. The 2-2 pitch coming up to Kobe Kato. And that's fouled away. Count remains.
Yeah, Kobe Kato has got such tremendous ability to get the bat on the baseball. Now, we've seen it time and time again. Yash Rain wouldn't be surprised with that open base down on first. Obviously, you don't want to walk a guy, but
I don't think you put on.
No, you don't. I
I
think it's going to be a down and away off-speed pitch.
Here's the pitch, and that's in the dirt. So now the count is full to Kato.
And again, I think he's going to go to that down and away mark to try and get him to swing and miss.
I think you're right.
It's just a matter of if he can effectively locate the pitch.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Kato. Here's the payoff pitch, and that's low ball 4. So the bases are loaded. And that brings up Tate Soderstrom.
34, Tate Soderstrom.
So I think here the Thunderbolts are willing to trade an out for a run
Oh, absolutely.
and not prolong this. Now, pitching coach Brock Hunter for the Thunderbolts comes out to the mound to talk to Yash Rain. Maybe this is a little bit of strategy as to what to do on what kind of hit. If it's a ground ball, what do they do?
Well, Neil, I do think that they're going to continue to play double play depth with one down.
That would make sense. Yes.
And another piece of strategy that I think they'll employ is I think it's going to be a lot of inside pitches to Tate Soderstrom. I think, at least in this current situation, you do not, of course, with Soderstrom being a lefty and Yash Rain being a righty, you do not want to go into a situation where you are lofting pitches in there and you have provide an opportunity for Tate Soderstrom to square them up on the meat of the bat.
Here's the first pitch, way outside, ball 1.
If you can jam Soderstrom a couple of times and maybe get strikes that way, I think that could be the best bet.
The crowd exhorting Yash to settle down and get the batter. There's an outside pitch, and it's called for a strike. Got the outside corner, 1-1.
Well, I must be wrong, Neil, because they're pitching him outside, and I'm surprised they are.
Well, if he can catch that corner, and if the ump is giving him the pitch, maybe we'll see that. 1 ball, 1 strike to Soderstrom. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2 in the dirt. Soderstrom talks to himself as to why did I swing at that one.
Yeah, beautiful down and away slider.
So Yash Rain ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The bases are full. There's 1 down. The Bolts lead at 7-0 against the Big Train here in the top of the 3rd. The pitch, and that's outside, but not by much. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So we'll see if they do come in on one of these pitches in an attempt to get him to swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Again, going for that outside corner, didn't get it. Now the count is full.
Well, Neil, I could not have been more wrong. They've been pitching him outside this entire at-bat, and maybe to change things up here, they'll try to go inside on him, but we'll see.
The 3-2 pitch, and that's lined into right field. That's going to be 1 bounce to the fence, and in come the runners. Here comes Vincelli Simard, Christian Jane behind him, and scoring is also Kobe Kato, and now on at second with a bases clearing double is Tate Soderstrom.
Well, it's the kiss of death, Neil, when you have a righty pitcher on the mound facing a lefty batter and you loft a ball, an off-speed pitch, high and away, but still in the strike zone. That is, lack of a better term, candy for a power-hitting lefty against a right-handed pitcher. So we saw Tate Soderstrom take advantage of it.
So 3 runs in for the Big Train here in this inning, and this is why they're so dangerous. But then you can't walk them, but they did get 2 hits, so give them credit for that. Here's the pitch to Matt Thomas, and that's inside for a ball.
Yeah, Matt Thomas rounded out his first time up back in the 2nd inning.
The next pitch from Rain, that's outside for a ball, so Yash now in trouble here. He'll have Drew Hamrock, Keith Torres, and Cade Hunter next in the lineup.
Nobody warming at the T-Bolts bullpen. I think they're going to rest their full confidence on Yash Rain here, assuming things don't get too out of hand.
Well, he could use a fly ball or just something to get to the 2nd out in this inning. The pitch, and that's in for a strike, 2-1, as Thomas taking all the way.
A real nice pitch on the inside corner, and I'm telling you, Neil, I don't mean to harp on it, but I think that's going to have to be the emphasis, is pitching inside and low.
The next pitch is fouled back, so now the count goes 2-2.
And there's an example of it, Neil. He pitched him inside and low, and he fouled it off to the right side because he had to pull the bat back in towards his body. And so if Yash Rain can use that to his advantage, I think it's going to work out quite well.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Matt Thomas, runner at second. Here's the pitch, and there's a ground ball towards the shortstop, Ian McMillan. He checks the runner back, throws over to Trainer for the out.
Oh, and you cannot do it any better by Ian McMillan. The first time Matt Thomas grounded out, he did it to McMillan, and McMillan made a great play on a backhand and then a marvelous throw. And now McMillan goes ahead and makes a really nice casual running throw over the first ball, holding the runner at second base. McMillan is proving how he is so valuable defensively.
The first pitch now to the next batter, Drew Hamrock, swung on and missed, is strike 1. One strike to Drew Hamrock. Next pitch in the dirt, and a nice play by Chris Brady to keep it from going to the backstop, 1-1. That one was way outside. So Yash 1 out away from just limiting the Big Train to 3 in this inning. Runner still in scoring position in Tate Soderstrom. A 1-1 count to Hamrock. Here's the pitch, and that's in for a strike, 1-2.
These late calls, Neil.
Well, you got to get used to it.
I know, but it's throwing everybody off, and well, maybe not you, because you're at the top of your game.
I have nothing to do and nowhere to go, so I'm waiting. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and they say he's out anyway, as the ball may have skipped out at Chris Brady's glove, but another strikeout of Drew Hamrock. But in the inning, the Bethesda Big Train scored 3 runs, and they did that on 3 hits and 1 walk. There were no Thunderbolt errors, 1 runner left on base. So at the end of 2.5, it's the T-Bolts 7 and the Bethesda Big Train 3 on the T-Bolts Radio Network. And so we're back for the bottom of the third inning. And the T-Bolts take their 7-3 lead. And there's a ground ball towards Keith Torres. He's up with it. He throws over to Vincelli Samard for the out. So a quick out as Chris Brady grounds out to open the bottom of the third. So here comes Dom Ford, a strikeout victim in the second inning. And the first pitch is in there for a strike from Tyler Neumann. Now here's another situation. The T-Bolts have 7 runs, a new pitcher in, but I don't think they can afford to slow down here. The pitch from Neumann is another strike.
Yeah, Neumann is working fast.
A 7-3 lead against the Train is not a big one. And that's on the corner for strike 3. So another strikeout for Dom Ford. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Cade Swisher.
You know, Neil, sometimes they talk about quarterbacks in football dealing with the yips, not being able to just throw the ball accurately. I think Dom Ford is dealing with whatever the baseball version of that is. He just cannot see the ball correctly right now.
Not hitting for now, that's for sure. The first pitch from the left-hander is in there for a strike, 0-1 to Fisher. So Tyler Neumann just bringing it here. Pitch, and that's outside. 1-1.
Yeah, Cade Swisher so far today, 2 for 2.
Next pitch, and there's another base hit in the left field. So Cade Swisher, 3 for 3. Going the opposite way there.
10, Lucas Donlin.
So here's Luke Donlin. Lucas singled in the second inning. It came around to score on the grand slam from Tyler Murray. So a runner at first. Swisher will no doubt be going with 2 outs. The pitch, and that's outside for a ball.
And this is the meat of the T-Bolts order right here. Donlin, Trainer, and McMillan, and also Tyler Murray, a real chance.
And there's a fly ball into right field. It should be an easy play for Soderstrom, and it is. He makes the put out. So for the Thunderbolts, no runs. There was 1 hit. There was 1 runner left on base. No errors by the Big Train. So at the end of 3 full innings of play, the score is the Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts 7 and the Bethesda Big Train 3. This is T-Bolts Baseball on the T-Bolts Radio Network and Takoma Park City
Here we
TV.
go. Here's the game. Around the beat. Take down the fly ball. Now it's Silver Spring.
running catch from Dalton Martin out in left field.
Yeah, he started back on it and then realized that that ball may have been pushed in a little bit. I don't know if the wind may have affected it or if he just misread it initially, but he did a nice job of recovering.
Dalton, usually an infielder, has played second and third. He's DH'd some. Out and left tonight, as Doug Reamer has mixed up a lot of the T-bolts in different positions. And Cade Hunter fouls this pitch back for a strike. Hunter, the catcher tonight. All of these big train guys look very big when they come to the plate.
Hence the name.
There's a ground ball up the middle, and that's going to bounce into center field for a base hit as it bounced off the infield. A near collision between Cade Swisher and Ian McMillan, but no damage done.
I think it was semi-collision, I guess you could call it. Swisher hit the bottom portion of McMillan's body as McMillan leaped up into the air and Swisher went tumbling, but everybody's okay.
So now Martin Vincelli-Simard, who singled and scored in the third inning on the RBI double by Kate Soderstrom. We'll see if the runner Hunter goes. First pitch is swung on and foul back, strike one.
Times like this, I wish I had continued taking French because I could go down and have a conversation with him in French.
Assuming he does speak French, I would assume he would.
Most likely as a Quebec native.
But yes,
yeah.
I would assume with a name like that. So 0-1 to Vincelli-Simard, and there's a line drive to Lucas Donlin. The throw to first, safe.
But Donlin doing a great job of snaring that line drive at third base. And that is not easy to do, Neil, when that ball's flying off the bat at 100 miles per hour. But Lucas Donlin, he can do it just like the best of them.
So Donlin gets it, alertly throws to Luke Traynor, just not in time to get Cade Hunter. So now that brings up Christian Jane for his third time of throw over. But Hunter is back. So good contact, but Lucas makes the play.
Sometimes the defense wins.
It does. First pitch, and there's a ground ball through the right side for a base hit, and stopping at second, but there's an error. It gets by Quinn McKenna, and now at least one run is going to score, and heading into third is Christian Jane. That's a costly error by Quinn McKenna.
Yeah, that is really, really tough for Quinn McKenna out in right field. He just booted the ball as it came into his glove, and unfortunately for him, that's going to be an E9, allowing a run to score.
Not only allowing a run to score, but putting a runner in scoring position at third base.
Luckily, two down here, a chance for Yash Rain to perhaps escape.
Right, but if there's a passed ball or a wild pitch, another gift run to the Bethesda Big Train, and you just cannot do that and expect to win. The Big Train chipping away. Here's the first pitch to Gio Diaz as a ball inside.
And Neil, we've seen it time and time again. Sometimes when pitchers face the Big Train and they have run support early, they get too comfortable.
Well, that wasn't his fault. I mean,
no. Well, certainly not insinuating.
Ball low.
Certainly not insinuating that the error was Yash Rain's fault. But Yash Rain has been hit hard 3 times in this inning, so it's going to be very important for him to limit contact going forward.
Well, that is true. I will agree with you there. 2 balls, no strikes. There's a ground ball, and that's going to be up the middle for a base hit. And I think you're starting to see some action in the T-Bolts bullpen.
Somebody's up, but they're not throwing yet. I think it's Rojo Prairie getting set.
So 2 runs in the inning, and now the score is 7-5.
Just like that. And Neil, we've seen good contact on 4 Yash Rain pitches in this inning.
That's right. There have been 3 hits.
And the line out to Donlin.
And the line out to Donlin. There goes the runner. That's in the dirt and low. Here's the throw from Brady, and it's not in time.
Oh, my. A great job by Ian McMillan to make sure that ball didn't get into center field. That bounced into him, and he was running into it and made the snare. If that ball gets into center field, that's easily third base for Gio Diaz.
So the next pitch to Diaz is inside, and I have the count now as 3-0. So the Thunderbolts beginning to be a little fast and loose with the baseball. That's outside. Now the count goes 3-0.
Yeah, and the command for Yash Rain is really starting to wane a little bit here. You got to wonder how much longer they're going to allow him to stay out there if the contact continues to flow.
There's a strike to Kato. So 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, Kato has walked twice today, so he's not afraid to take his pitches.
Pitch. And that's high for a ball. So down to first goes Kobe Kato. Gio Diaz remains at second. And now that brings up Tate Soderstrom, who hit a bases clearing double in the 3rd inning to bring in 3 runs.
Kobe Kato, his 3rd walk of the day. Getting it done, just not by hitting.
So let's see what happens with Soderstrom here in the top of the 4th. The first pitch is fouled back for a strike, 0-1.
And the thing that concerns me, Neil, is that the way that these fastballs are coming in from Yash Rain, they don't have the same bend to them that they did to begin the game.
No, they don't.
And that is a major concern because Bethesda will eat fastballs all day.
They're coming in flat, and they're going to hit them. The next pitch is low and in the dirt, 1-1.
Obviously doesn't help that he has runners on first and second to worry about.
Well, he does have 2 outs. Throw over to second base, and there's nobody covering, and into center field goes the ball, and the runners move up. Neither McMillan nor Swisher was anywhere near the base.
And that's frustrating for the infield because both the shortstop McMillan and the second baseman Swisher, they're saying, hey, wait a minute, you got to wait for me to get to the base, and Yash Rain just out of habit fires into second.
So we'll see how they score that one, but now Soderstrom has a chance to drive in 2 more. He fouls that pitch back. So a ball and 2 strikes.
And Neil, we talk about it all the time. If you're going to beat Bethesda, or really any team in this league, you can't beat yourself.
No, they have saved some of their less than stellar games against their chief opponent. Here's the pitch, and there's a fly ball down the left field line. Going for it is Dalton Martin. He's there, and he makes the catch.
A huge out.
So a big out for Yash Rain there. But in the inning, the Bethesda Big Train scores 2 runs on 3 hits. I think there were 2 Thunderbolt errors in that inning. 2 runners left on base. So at the end of 3.5 innings, the score is the T-Bolts 7, the Big Train 5. You're listening to T-Bolts Baseball on the T-Bolts Radio Network and viewing it on Takoma Park TV. So we are back for the bottom of the 4th inning as the Big Train creeps closer to the Thunderbolts, who is 7-0. Now it's 7-5, so 5 unanswered runs. So now Luke Trainer, the first baseman tonight, comes up. And the first pitch to Luke is on the corner, strike one. So Tyler Neumann doing a terrific job for the big train and not allowing the Thunderbolts to do very much. The 0-1 pitch, and that catches the corner, strike two.
And Tyler Neumann has terrific command of his off-speed pitches, and he uses them in conjunction with his fastball very well.
The 0-2 pitch to Trainer, swung on and missed, strike three on a pitch way out of the strike zone. So down goes Luke.
To the plate, the shortstop, number 9, Ian McMillan.
That's the sixth straight Thunderbolt retired. Now here's Ian McMillan. McMillan tripled in the first inning to drive in 3 runs and then popped out to Gio Diaz in the second inning. Thunderbolts need some runs to get some confidence back and a bit of a margin. There's a ground ball, and that's going to be up the middle for a base hit for McMillan. So Ian with a solid single to center.
Up next, the designated hitter.
And now that brings up the DH
Tyler Murray.
Tyler Murray from the University of Hawaii, who had, I think, probably since Little League, his first inside the park home run.
A really tremendous play by him back in the second. That hit to center field that skipped away from Christian Jane and brought him all the way around the bases. A grand slam inside the park.
You don't see that very often. So Murray up, takes the first pitch in there for a strike. So Neumann continues to get that first pitch over the plate for a strike, which sets up a lot of possibilities for him and the big train. 0-1 to Murray. The pitch is high for a ball. McMillan can go and has.
Oh, he's got speed. We know it.
So I'm thinking somewhere in this count he's going to take off. And that bounces in the dirt, and there he goes. Here's the throw, and he's going to be safe.
Yeah, he was definitely in time to be safe. It was just a matter of whether or not he got to the bag, and he did. He stayed on the bag very well and took advantage of a low pitch down the dirt.
So now Murray could drive in a run if he comes up with a single here. He had the triple and has popped out to second base. 2 balls and a strike, and that's called a strike even though Murray backs off the plate. So 2-2. Now there's time.
Yeah, so Murray tonight, with the single and the home run, he has 5 RBIs, trying to make it a 6 RBI night right here.
That's high and outside. So the count goes full on Tyler Murray. Dalton Martin, the left fielder, would be up next. Full count. The pitch from Neumann is high for ball 4. So down to first with a walk goes Tyler Murray.
A tremendous job tonight so far by Tyler Murray, not only getting on base, but also just being productive in general. Now we're going to have a meeting at the mound. The entire infield comes in to chat with Neumann.
So that's the 3rd walk tonight issued by the big train, the first by Neumann. Schneider issued 2. So 2 runners on for the Thunderbolts in the bottom of the 4th inning. They lead by 2 in one of these adding machine baseball games.
Oh, yeah. This has been a peculiar night for many reasons. You don't often see an inside the park grand slam. You don't normally see a pitcher be successful against the big train early like Yash Rain was. A lot of different factors in this game, rather unconventional for a T-Bolts big train matchup.
And the fact that the T-Bolts have a lead against the big train, which hasn't happened very often. I can think of the 13-4 game where we had a lead. I think 1 inning in the 8-1 game we had a lead. Other than that, it's been slim pickings, but now Dalton Martin hopes to add to that lead. Lefty against lefty. Neumann checks the runners. Swung on and missed. A good rip by Martin. Strike 1.
Oh, yeah, he wanted to send that one into the forest. That was a huge swing and miss on a
big rip.
Yeah, fastball up high.
So 1 ball, or rather 1 strike, no balls. The pitch, he shows bunt and takes it low for a ball. Now that's an interesting strategy. A bunt could move the runners up for Quinn McKenna, who has not been hitting that well.
Sack bunts are becoming more popular.
1 ball and 1 strike to Martin. Neumann delivers, and there's a fly ball in the center field. That's deep. Back goes Jane, and it's over his head. So the runner's coming around third. Here comes McMillan. Murray behind him. There'll be a play at the plate, but Murray will score, and on at second is Dalton Martin.
And a tremendous piece of hitting by Dalton Martin, who sends that ball to deep center field, and probably the deepest part of the ballpark. Christian Jane was on his horse going back to the warning track, and you could see Dalton Martin got the fastball there. We talked to him before the game about how he loves the fastball. He's a guy that is going to feast on that 2-seam, 4-seam fastball combo, and he did it right there.
It looks like Jane may have misjudged it a bit because he came in and then started going back, and the ball just kept carrying. There's strike 1 to Quinn McKenna.
And Neil, the Cardinals' sin of playing the outfield, moving in the wrong direction to begin the play.
He didn't have a chance on that once he started running for it. It just kept carrying. So Martin at second dancing away. Quinn swings and misses strike 2.
And all of a sudden the T-Bolts on top 9-5.
The pitch to McKenna is outside. So a ball and 2 strikes. McKenna has walked, flied to right in his 2 times up. He would love to get something here. The pitch, outside. Hunter holds it, hoping for the call, didn't get it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Crowd still buzzing about that shot, which was pretty far. That was over 400 feet by Martin. The 2-2 pitch. And that's outside. Quinn holds off. Full count.
Yeah, Neil, if he had hit that ball to the power alleys or maybe to the corners near the foul poles, that would have been gone. So, just barely staying inside the ballpark on that.
Here's the pitch, and that's skied into center field. An easy play for Jane. He's there. He makes the catch, and the runners will hold. So 2 down now, and that'll leave it up to Chris Brady. Chris has struck out and grounded out. Chris looking for a hit here to bring in Dalton Martin from third. The pitch, and there's a fly ball into center field. Back goes Jane. Jane looks like he has this one, and he does. He leaps at the last second to get it, so that ball must be carrying out there. But for the Thunderbolts, in the bottom of the 4th inning, they scored 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors by the big train. 1 runner left on base. At the end of 4 full innings of play, the score, the Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts 9 and the Bethesda Big Train 5. You're listening to T-Bolts Baseball on the T-Bolts Radio Network and Takoma Park City TV.
And welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network and Takoma Park City TV. We have a very special guest in the booth as Rojo Prairie comes on to pitch for the T-Bolts in this 9-5 game in which Silver Spring Takoma leads. Neil, tell us about our guest.
Well, this is Steve Hoffman from WOWD, one of our great sponsors, and Steve is a big baseball fan and encouraged the T-Bolts to get involved with the local station here, and every so often I come down and talk to Steve, and we had a big show on opening night for the Thunderbolts when a couple of Thunderbolts went down there. So Steve, welcome in.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, and it's a lot of fun being here in the broadcast booth because I get to hear all your insights about the play-by-play.
Well, we were hoping for some from you. Now, how long have you been a baseball fan?
Since I was a young kid, I would say probably around age 10 or 12, I was more into it. The Mets came to the New York area, and I kind of became a big Mets fan as a kid.
Did you go to many games?
Yeah, I used to. I don't go to as many anymore, but I really do love, I love radio. I love listening to ball games on the radio, and to some extent watching them on TV. But over my lifetime, I've been to many games and many stadiums around the country. I enjoy going to different ballparks around the country.
Well, that's great, and again, we all appreciate the support WOWD has given us. You have a banner somewhere in the stadium.
Yes, we do.
And it's just great that you do that, and we enjoy coming down and talking baseball for the time we do. So what do you make of this game so far?
Well, as was pointed out, it's not every day you see an inside the park grand slam, and it's great to see the T-Bolts really hitting that ball.
Oh, they did, yeah. It's very rare against the best team in the league in the Bethesda Big Train, and it's a rival team to the T-Bolts. And the Train has had their way with the T-Bolts for most of this season, but so far we're up by 4. So stick with us, and you can help us out here as Matt Thomas, the left fielder, comes up. He's had 2 groundouts, and Rojo Prairie, as we said, is the pitcher. Rojo picks up a strike. Rojo from the College of William and Mary will pull up his stats in a second so we can tell you all about him. Next pitch is also called a strike, so quickly ahead of Matt Thomas. On the season, Rojo has been in 6 games, pitched 11 innings, a 9.81 ERA. He had a couple of bad outings. Oh, nice pitch, and he knew it. Thomas goes down on 3 straight strikes. And coincidentally, guys, Rojo Prairie is the team's leading hitter. He came up to pinch hit one day. Now, not pinch hit. He was put in left field in a game, I think against the Big Train, and got a single to right, which for a pitcher, of course, is quite an achievement. Here's Drew Hamrock, who struck out twice tonight. Very high pitch from Rojo, 0-1.
And Neil, tonight the T-Bolts pitching staff is combined for 7 strikeouts,
which is a good total against this team. So 0-1 from Prairie, and there's a fly ball down the line and right. That's foul and into the bullpen of the T-Bolts. So you've been coming to T-Bolts games for a while?
I've come to a few, yeah.
I see you were here for the first game of the season, right?
Yes, and I was here a couple of weekends ago, the one where we came from behind in the bottom.
Oh, that's right. That's the game I had
inning.
Off.
When my son was younger, living at home, and he was a student at Blair High School, we would come back in those days.
Yeah, I was here for that one. That was a great game.
So let's see what what Rojo can do here with Drew Hamrock. 2 strikes. It looks like he goes to maybe get a new bat. But if you follow this team, you know this rivalry has been pretty intense. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed strike 3. I guess that's not strike 3. I've had him at 2 strikes, but I guess not. 1-2.
Yes, 1-2.
Okay. 1 ball, 2 strikes. My bad. Here's the pitch. Close on the corner, but doesn't get the call. 2-2. So home plate umpire Homer Gowett has called some high strikes, in our opinion. Here's the pitch, and that's way outside. So the count goes full to Hamrock. So here's Prairie with the full count pitch, and that's inside, almost hits him, ball 4. So this is a league, Steve, where you see a lot of walks.
But you also do see a lot of balls hit into play, and that's one of the complaints now with the Major League Baseball, too many strikeouts, or home runs, not enough plays in the field.
Well, we've seen that tonight, for sure.
Now, how do you feel about that, Steve? Where's your stance?
I prefer to see more balls hit into play.
Good man. Keith Torres up, shows bunt, takes the first pitch low for a ball. So Prairie, after cruising through 1 out, now has walked Drew Hamrock. It has a 1-ball count on Keith Torres. Rojo taking a deep breath. And a throw over. And the runner, Hamrock, is back. You do see a lot of steals in this league, too. They really test the catchers.
But those defensive plays, when you're in a live ball game, they can be as exciting as anything. Great defensive work.
Indeed. 1 ball, no strikes to Torres. Another throw over. And Hamrock is back. So Rojo, which is derived from Robert John. We thought it was Rojo, as the word red in Spanish, but not quite. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch is low for ball 2. So 2 balls and a strike, and a little unease begins to set in.
Yeah, Neil, his name makes me think of my favorite song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat.
Well, you're funny tonight.
Maybe not so much.
Let's hope if we're laughing at the end of this one. 2-0 to Keith Torres. Another throw over. That was a closer play.
Makes me think of Hojo, the former third baseman on the Mets.
That's right, Howard
Tigers.
Johnson. He was a good ball player. So 2 balls, no strikes to Keith Torres. And there goes the runner. The pitch is in the dirt and low. The throw will not be in time. And in the second base with a steal is Drew Hamrock.
It's a shame, too, because the jump wasn't very good, the throw wasn't very good, and ultimately the advantage went to Drew Hamrock.
So 3 balls and no strikes to Keith Torres with Cade Hunter on deck. And Rojo does not want to start putting runners on for the top of the order. So let's see if he gets the automatic strike down Broadway. The pitch. It gets away from Chris Brady, and down to third will trot Drew Hamrock with 1 down. So
they count 3-1 here. Supposedly the home
where
plate
was the
umpire,
strike?
Homer Goet called a strike on one pitch. We don't know which it was because he didn't really put his hand up, but he has affirmed that the count is indeed 3-1.
All right. I didn't see that one. 3-1 on Torres. The pitch. And there's a liner into right field for a base hit. So scoring will be Drew Hamrock. So the Big Train get 1 back. And the stolen base and the passed ball, which I'm going to call that. They're calling it a wild pitch. Okay, well, the official score says wild pitch. So once again, the Thunderbolts begin to give the Big Train some ammunition here. There's a foul back from Cade Hunter. And Steve, I think you'll see Keith Torres take off too.
I'll keep an eye on him.
Okay, you can be our official base stealer watcher here.
Is our spotter.
1 strike. Another throw over. And of course, with these throws over, you have to be especially careful to not throw it away. 1 strike. Prairie in for the sign, the pitch, and that gets away from Brady again. Another wild pitch. So 1-1 to Hunter, and down the second goes Keith Torres.
So, Steve, I got to ask you, it sounds to me like you're a New York native. Do you still follow the Mets, or have you switched?
I do follow them to some extent, but the team I really fell in love with after I moved to this area, which was 1979, is the Orioles. And I'm still kind of a diehard Orioles fan.
That's what I like to hear.
But,
Swing and a miss
I like
while
the
we're
Mets,
talking.
And
I guess in this day and age, you end up rooting for a few teams because people tend to move and they still have their hometown allegiance.
Right.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down here, 1 in, the pitch. And again, that gets away. Brady may have a chance. No, he slips. And so down to third goes Keith Torres.
And Steve, you know, I was born in Baltimore, born and raised there. I still live there. And I can tell you, I come down here quite often because, you know, obviously doing T-Bolts games, and I see a lot of Orioles fans. There's still a lot of black and orange down here.
Mm-hmm. Right, and, you know, they're carried still on a DC radio
2-2, ground ball
station.
foul.
But most of my friends who are baseball fans, I have quite a few who are baseball fans in the D.C. area. They did become Nats fans. But to me, it's all a lot of fun. I never get mad at someone who roots for a different team. I just kind of enjoy it. And sometimes I'll follow a team one season just because they're having an interesting season.
Or they have interesting players.
Interesting players, right? Like
2-2. High ball 3.
I love Jose Altuve. I'm kind of a short guy myself. He's like my favorite player in baseball, so that got me interested in Houston.
So a full count to Cade Hunter with Keith Torres at third, 1 out. And the pitch from Rojo is called strike 3. A nice strikeout from Rojo Prairie. So now that's 2 down, and that takes away the sacrifice fly opportunity for the big train, and that brings up Martin Vincelli-Samar.
Well, all I can say is Rojo my. That was a beautiful pitch. He painted the corner unlike we've seen many times tonight.
And he got the call.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So 2 down. Runner on third. The pitch is taken for a strike to Vincelli-Samar. So during the break, we'll keep it here. We'll talk about WOWD down there on Westmoreland Avenue in Takoma Park. 0-1. The pitch, and there's a ground ball towards Ian McMillan. He's up with it. The long throw over to Trainer, and they get him. And so in the inning, 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 runner left on base. No Thunderbolt errors. The score at the end of 4.5 is 9-6. We're going to keep it here between innings. So tell us what's going on at WOWD.
Well, at WOWD, one thing is we're marching in the 4th of July parade this year, the first time we've done that. Takoma Park has a traditional, makes a big deal of the 4th of July Independence Day parade, has a lot of fun with it. So we've got a contingent.
It's not your traditional 4th of July Day parade, I'll say.
Right,
that.
it's more eclectic, but it's got some of the
fun.
old, red, white, and blue flag waving as well as other fun stuff. And we're going to have one of our programmers actually spinning records in the back of a truck.
Oh, that sounds great.
So that's going on.
I think we have a presence in the parade. I'm not sure. I thought we did.
We usually do in the parade that happens in November. Is it a Thanksgiving parade that happens at Montgomery County? But we usually do send somebody in a T-Bolts jersey. Sometimes it's Doug Reamer that we send.
Well, we'll see if they do. That's only a couple of days away. What, three days away?
Right.
So, and WOWD plays pretty much anything and everything.
Right, on our radio format, it's mostly music, and we have a lot of fun with it because it's eclectic, but we have so many DJs who are passionate experts in their various genres of music,
Including
be it blues.
you.
Sure, including me. And so we have a lot of fun with it, and it's entertaining and interesting, I think.
No, it is. It's the kind of station you can leave on, and then all of a sudden you find yourself you've spent half an hour listening. Here's a ground ball towards the third baseman, Drew Hamrock, and he cannot handle it. And on at first is Drew Ford.
That be an error?
Oh, yeah. I would say so. He charged the ball, and it skipped into his glove. And I think if Hamrock had stayed back on that ball and not overplayed it, he would have had
We'll
it.
get the official ruling in just a second. So here comes a pop-up, and Lucas Donlin is out on a quick fly out. No, that was
Cade
Cade
Swisher.
Swisher. Sorry, I saw number 10 on deck.
Yeah, he didn't even give you a chance to tell you who he was. He came up to the plate, Cade Swisher did, and he popped up. Was it a bunt that he popped up? Yeah, he popped
Yes.
a bunt up.
Yes, it
and
was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throw over, and Ford is back. Ford definitely is a threat to go. So Donlin up. Lucas has 1 hit tonight. The pitch, that's high for a ball, 1-0. Now the next pitch from Neumann is fouled back, a ball and a strike.
And Neil, you can see how Neumann, part of his success is how he eats up hitters with those inside fastballs, and that's something the T-Bolts pitching staff they could take that page out of the playbook because that is very effective.
A ball and a strike to Lucas Donlin, and there's a ground ball foul down the third base line, so the count goes to 1-2. Runner on first, 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning of a game the T-Bolts lead 9-6 over the Big Train here at Blair Stadium.
And a very nice night for
Oh,
baseball.
it's beautiful night. Pitch swung on and missed, strike 3 as Lucas chases that one. So 2 down, and now that brings up Luke Trainer. Luke has a single and a walk and a strikeout tonight. Luke is one of the team's best hitters. Began the night hitting .372. He should be right around that average. So Dom Ford still at first. First pitch is in for a strike to Luke Trainer. Well, they call that an E5. He pretends to go. The pitch is outside. So 1-1 to Trainer. That was an error given to the third baseman Drew Hamrock on the play that allowed Dom Ford to get to first. The next pitch is in for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes to Trainer, who is a very good 2-strike hitter. One ball, 2 strikes. The pitch way outside and high, ball 2. So which T-Bolts have impressed you the most since you've seen a couple of games here? Not to put you on the spot, but...
Well, this fellow, Luke, has been a good hitter.
Little ground chopper towards the third baseman. He's up with it. He throws and bounces it. It gets away from the first baseman. Ford comes around third, and he's going to be held, and into second on what's going to be another error is Luke Trainer.
That could be an infield hit and then advancing on the error.
Well, the throw was way wide.
I think it'll be an advance to second on the error and a reach on the hit. That's my hunch.
Well, we'll find out. Whatever, the T-Bolts have runners now at second and third, and that sets the table for Ian McMillan, who has 2 hits tonight. A hit and an error for Luke Trainer. Okay. The pitch is in there for a strike.
And Steve, this guy on the mound for Bethesda, Tyler Neumann, he reminds me a lot of, you being an Orioles fan and those who listen to other Orioles fans, reminds me a lot of Miguel Castro. He slings the ball in there.
The pitch swung on and missed for a strike. 0-2 to McMillan.
Now, unlike Castro, he has a high delivery, so it makes it a little bit less deceptive, but it's still clearly very effective, the way that he slings the ball, and then the ball will have some backwards motion as it comes to the plate.
So 2 strikes to McMillan with runners on second and third. Boy, you hate to waste an opportunity like this. And there's a ground ball that's going to get through for a base hit. So in to score comes Dom Ford, and right behind him will be Luke Trainer. The throw to second to try to get the runner Ian McMillan. He is safe at second with another extra base hit.
And all of a sudden, the T-Bolts go on top 11-6. And a stupendous night for Ian McMillan, who is now 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs.
So that one hit to the right of Gio Diaz, who dove but could not get it. So the Thunderbolts pick up 2 big runs. You can never have enough runs against this team.
Oh, that's for sure.
So now up to bat is Tyler Murray, the DH. With a runner on second, the pitch swung on and missed, strike 1. Well, you're certainly seeing some offense here, and when the ball's put in play and you have fielders fielding, runners running, the throws coming, it's a visual treat. One strike, and that's outside for a ball. 1-1. There's a fly ball into right field. Back goes Soderstrom. He's under it, and he makes the catch. But in the inning, the Thunderbolts get 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error by the Big Train. 2 runners left on, if I'm correct. No, just the 1 runner. And at the end of 5 innings of play, the T-Bolts, 11 runs on 13 hits. They've committed 2 errors. 6 runs on 6 hits for the Big Train. They've committed 2 errors. And before we break here, we wanted to say thank you very much for coming up and joining us
Well,
in the
it's my
booth.
pleasure, and I hope some folks tune in to WLWD at 94.3 FM and TacomaRadio.org.
And I'll see you tomorrow morning bright and early at 9:30. Okay, that's it for this inning on the T-Bolts Radio Network. We'll be back after these messages.
There we go. Come on, fans, let 'em know. Let 'em hear it. All right, congratulations to our future Thursday runner. Okay, kids, your attention, please.
So a nice visit from baseball fan and Thunderbolts fan there at WOWD-FM, Steve Hoffman. And for another Thunderbolts fan and baseball fan, here's Julian Barron.
Thanks so much, Neil. We head to the top of the 6th inning, and it'll be Christian Jane leading off for the Bethesda Big Train. The T-Bolts lead this game 11-6, and Rojo Prairie remains on the mound for the T-Bolts. Here comes the first pitch. That's way up high for a ball, and the count is 1-0.
So these are like two heavyweights slugging at each other, scoring runs at prodigious rates.
And Christian Jane at the plate right now with a 1-0 count on his head. Tonight he singled twice and struck out. Here comes the 1-0. This ball skied to the air left side, and it'll go out of play back towards the parking lot. So it's even 1-1.
So Rojo begins his second inning of work.
Christian Jane with a 1-1 count on his head. He's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is in the southeastern portion of the state. Next pitch on the way, and this one is lined back to the screen foul. So Rojo Prairie gets ahead 1-2, and Neil, he's been very effective with his fastball.
He has been. He's given up 1 run on 1 hit. He's walked 1, struck out 2, which is not a bad line.
Jane awaiting the 1-2 pitch from Prairie, and this curveball will just miss outside. So it's even 2-2 on Christian Jane.
That was a close pitch, given what's been called tonight.
Christian Jane was drafted in the 27th round of the 2018 MLB Draft by the Diamondbacks. Here comes the 2-2. This one skied in the air left side, playable for Lucas Donlin. At the edge of the infield in the left side, he makes the catch for the first out. And he made that catch in fair territory, but just barely.
All right, that was hugging the line. And a good big first out for Rojo Prairie as he goes through the top of the order. He'll be facing some big hitters in Gio Diaz and Kobe Kato. And if they get that far, Tate Soderstrom.
Speaking of which, here comes the aforementioned Gio Diaz. And Rojo Prairie winds and delivers this one for a called strike on the inside corner. And the count is 0-1.
You don't hear many 4-syllable words, I would think, on other teams' broadcasts.
And that's why we're special here. 0-1 the count, and Rojo Prairie kicks and sends it to the plate. This one skied in the air, foul out of play to the right side. So Rojo Prairie gets ahead here 0-2 on Gio Diaz out of Brentwood, California, which is about an hour from Oakland.
The Thunderbolts haven't had a scoreless inning against the Big Train, in other words, limiting the Big Train, since the second.
0-2 count. Here comes the pitch, and that one will bounce in for a ball. The count 1-2 on Gio Diaz, who tonight has got himself an RBI single back in the 4th. He also flied out to second base and struck out back in the 1st, so he's 1 for 3 with an RBI. 1-2 with nobody aboard and 1 down. Here comes the pitch, and there's a ball down low.
Looked like he was going to jerk the thumb for the strike, didn't it?
It did, but regardless, it's now 2-2 on Gio Diaz. Nobody aboard with 1 down and a 2-2 count on Gio Diaz. Rojo Prairie kicks and delivers. That one bounces way outside for a ball. And it's now full 3-2 on Diaz. Diaz on the year with a .320 batting average, a homer and 15 RBIs coming into today. He doesn't have a registered batting average against Rojo Prairie. 3-2 the count, and Prairie kicks and sends it to the plate. That one is up and in, and Gio Diaz draws his base on balls.
Well, that's the second walk by Rojo.
And Neil, they say that walks are the kiss of death.
Well, they certainly can be.
So now with a man at first and only one down, it'll be Kobe Cotto coming to the plate, who, speaking of walks,
Has walked 3 times.
yes, he has. He has walked 3 times, and perhaps he's about to walk for a 4th time.
Well, hopefully not. And so Chris Brady better get ready because Diaz is going to go.
First pitch to Cotto will be taken down and in for a ball. The count 1-0 on Kobe Cotto. Cotto comes into today with a .462. Yes, you're hearing me correctly. A .462 batting average.
Incredible player.
1-0 will instead be a throw over to first base, not in time to get Gio Diaz. So it remains 1-0 here on Kobe Cotto with 1 down and a man at first. T-Bolts lead 11-6. Rojo Prairie sets his feet. He's ready. Here comes the pitch. This one skied in the air towards left field. Backing up is Dalton Martin. At the edge of the warning track, he makes the catch. Runner will tag and head down to second base. The throw is close, but not in time. Skips away from the covering Ian McMillan, but at second base is Gio Diaz. He's
Well, that's
there
good
safely.
hustle by Diaz.
Yes, it is, as he will stand up. He's limping a little bit. He's going to take a little jog to make sure he's okay. So now with 2 down and a man at second base, we'll wait for Gio Diaz to compose himself. And here comes Tate Soderstrom in the cleanup spot. Soderstrom had the bases clearing double back in the 3rd, scored 3, and he pulled into second base. Other than that, he's also flied out to left and struck out, so he's 1 for 3 on the night. Rojo Prairie sets and delivers. That'll be taken just a little bit low. Oh, no, a late strike call. How about that? The ball was down and away. The throw was already being made back to the pitcher, and the home plate umpire rings him up. It's 0-1. Man at second base. And an 0-1 count here on Tate Soderstrom. Here comes the pitch. That's down and in. Gets away from Chris Brady. Runner will advance down to third. So Gio Diaz now standing 90 feet away from the plate. And a 1-1 count on Tate Soderstrom.
So the Thunderbolts making a lot of wild pitches tonight.
1-1 delivery on the way. This ball sent playable into left field. Martin waiting for it. Medium depth. He will make the catch for the final out of the top of the 6th. And we go bottom 6 on the T-Bolts radio network. The T-Bolts are ahead 11-6 over the Bethesda Brig Train. We'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network. We're here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Dalton Martin will lead things off against Tyler Nauman. The first pitch to Dalton Martin will be down in the dirt. The count is 1-0 on the man out of Tusculum University. The T-Bolts lead this game 11-6. Next pitch will be taken down low once again, and the count is now 2-0. Dalton tonight has doubled. He got 2 RBIs on that double. Next pitch will be swung on and fouled off, so it's now 2-1 on Dalton Martin. He singled as well back in the 2nd inning. He also struck out looking in the 1st, so he is 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs.
Big night for him, and maybe he's starting to come back. Had a rough spell there where he wasn't making contact. Now he certainly is. Hit a very long drive to center field for a double.
Dalton Martin out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Waiting for the 2-1 pitch. Here it comes. Big swing and a miss. And the count is now even 2-2. Nobody on, nobody down. And now Neumann is taking a moment off the mound. Regains his composure. He's set to go. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And there's a called strike 3. The second time tonight that Dalton Martin has struck out looking, 1 down. And that'll give way to Quinn McKenna with 1 down and nobody aboard. Tonight, McKenna has flied out twice, once to center and once to right. He also walked back in the 1st, so he's 0 for 2. First pitch to him will be a ball outside, appealed down to 1st. He did not go around, and the count is 1-0.
So McKenna currently hitting 184.
Here comes the 1-0, and that'll just miss inside. Oh, late strike call again, and the count is 1-1. My goodness, Neil. He waits a good long time to make those strike calls.
Yes, he does. So I guess we'll have to wait with him.
Yeah, I'm learning slowly but surely. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. Quinn McKenna, he does have 2 home runs on the season.
He's got power.
1-2 on the way, and that misses outside. So the count is now even 2-2 on the man out of Lehigh University.
Tried to get him to chase, didn't do it.
He's very disciplined. Here comes the 2-2, and this ball skied in the air towards shallow right field. Playable for a whole bunch of big train players, but going over is Diaz, calling everybody off and making the catch.
Well, that was just a great example of infield leadership, calling everybody off. The right fielder, Soderstrom, came in. The first baseman went over, but Diaz called him off, made the play.
Vincelli Samard looked like he had the best read on it, but Diaz said, no, I'm going to take it, and he did. And now a chance for Chris Brady. First pitch to him will be a called strike on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. Brady tonight has struck out, flied out, and grounded out. 0-1 on the way. And that one misses down low. The count is now even 1-1 with 2 down and no one aboard. Brady 2 for 18 on the year. Here comes the 1-1. A big swing and a miss. And the count is now 1-2.
So 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Thunderbolts lead 11-6.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that just misses up high. It's now even 2-2. Chris Brady coming up to the T-Bolts from the COA team down in the Maryland Collegiate Baseball League. 2-2 on the way. Oh, that's way inside. Nearly hit him. And the count is now 3-2. Just barely missed him.
Did. So Chris with a full count. Let's see what he can do. Dom Ford is on deck.
3-2 pitch on the way. A big swing and a miss by Chris Brady. He goes down to the K. That's 2 strikeouts in the inning for Tyler Nauman. And we will go to the top of the 7th inning. T-Bolts still on top, 11-6. Here on your home for T-Bolts baseball, the T-Bolts Radio Network and Takoma Park City TV. And welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network. We go to the top of the 7th inning, and Rojo Prairie stays on the mound for the T-Bolts in a game in which they lead 11-6. It'll be Matt Thomas, Drew Hemrock, and Keith Torres coming to the plate for the Big Train.
So far the Bolts have 11 runs on 13 hits. They've committed 2 errors. The Train 6 runs on 6 hits, and they've made 2 miscues.
So Matt Thomas digs in. Tonight he's grounded out twice to the shortstop Ian McMillan and also struck out looking.
Left fielder number 16, Matt Thomas.
The Big Train not used to being down late in games. Yesterday they lost to the Gaithersburg Giants at Shirley Povich Field. Here comes the first pitch to Thomas. He shows bunt and takes it away for a ball. The count 1-0.
Well, they've lost a couple of games at home this year.
I can think of another one that perhaps we know of. Of course, we're referring
They
to
lost to the Grays, they lost to us, and Gaithersburg.
Yes, indeed. 1-0 pitch on the way, and that'll miss down low, so it's now 2-0 on Matt Thomas, who's out of William and Mary.
If Nate were here, you'd be hearing all about it.
Oh, yes, we would be. 2-0 the count, and Rojo Prairie kicks and delivers this one up high for a ball. So it's now 3-0 on Matt Thomas. Thomas, in 2019 for William and Mary, had 118 at-bats, 22 hits, which amounts to a 186 batting average. 3-0 pitch on the way. That's up high, and he'll get a 4-pitch walk. So not a good start to the inning for Rojo Prairie, but let's see if he can recover against Drew Hemrock.
But against the third baseman, number 20, Drew Hemrock.
Hamrock began the evening hitting .214, and he's 0 for 2 with a walk, 2 strikeouts.
Man at first, no one down. Rojo Prairie sets and delivers. There's a called strike to the knees, and the count is 0-1 on Drew Hemrock. Tonight struck out twice and walked. .0-1 the count, and here comes the pitch. This one's fouled back over the screen. And so it's now 0-2 on Drew Hemrock, who's from Roswell, Georgia, went to Milton High School up in those northern suburbs of Atlanta.
Last year we had a guy from Roswell, New Mexico, one of my favorite places, though I've never been there.
Same name, but 2 vastly different towns. The count 0-2, and Rojo Prairie, with a man on first, fires back to first.
Good throw.
Not in time to get him, though. The count remains 0-2 with nobody down and a man aboard at first.
Thomas not far off the bag.
Rojo Prairie delivers the 0-2, and a curveball gets him for the backwards K. A beautiful curve.
Boy, when he has that curve working, it's a thing of beauty.
He pulled the string on that one. And here's Keith Torres. Torres tonight was hit by a pitch, also flied out to left, and he had an RBI single back in the 5th. Man on first, 1 down, and Rojo Prairie kicks and delivers. That'll be a called strike at the knees, and the count is 0-1 with 1 down. Rojo Prairie out in Northern Virginia trying to put together a nice resume here with the T-Bolts this summer. So far, it's had a pretty good season. He's trying to lower that ERA a little bit. Throw back to first, not in time. His ERA currently stands at .982, but he does have 15 strikeouts. And that's only over 11 innings pitched. 0-1 count, and here comes the pitch to Torres. This one bounced into left center field. A high hop for a base hit. Rounding second, headed to third is Matt Thomas. The throw over will not be in time. Cut off by McMillan. So that is a single for Keith Torres, and now runners at the corners with only 1 down.
That was a nice play by the left fielder, or actually the center fielder, Dom Ford, to get that ball and cut it off and throw it to McMillan. They didn't have a chance to get Thomas going into third, and then McMillan wisely looked Keith Torres back to first, so that prevents the batter from getting into scoring position. Double play could still be pulled off by the Bolts.
So Cade Hunter comes to the plate, having struck out twice tonight. First pitch to him is fouled back over the Bethesda dugout and out of play. 0-1 the count on Cade.
Ian McMillan has had a great game at the plate for sure, but he's also been very good in the field.
Runners at the corners with one down and an 0-1 count on Cade Hunter. Rojo Prairie delivers a big swing and a miss. And the count is 0-2 on the rising freshman headed to Virginia Tech. He's from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Not too far from Camden. 0-2 the count. Rojo Prairie sets, looks and delivers. This one's fouled straight back, and we'll do it again.
So Rojo looking to pick up another out here in the top of the 7th inning.
Cade Hunter coming into this game with a .208 batting average. It's probably stayed right around there, maybe dropped a point. Here comes the 0-2, and that'll be taken for a called strike 3. Throw down to second base. They've got the runner picked off as they're going to have to run it back to first, and he gets back into first in time. Oh my goodness. It was Ian McMillan who had the ball and was running back to try and get the runner, but somehow skirting back into first base is Keith Torres, as the throw over to Trainer was not in time to get him.
And staying at third base is Matt Thomas.
Somehow.
Well, that was, it's like McMillan went too far. By the time he threw it to Trainer, Torres slid under the tag.
And here is Martin Vincelli Samard. First pitch to him will be a strike. They count 0-1. Tonight he has singled, lined out to Lucas Donlin at third, and also grounded out to the shortstop. Runners at the corners with 2 down. Here comes the 0-1, and that'll miss down low, 1-1. Vincelli Somar is from, I'm going to see if I can pronounce this correct, Boisbron, Quebec.
Boisbron.
There we go. We're trying our best here, I promise. It's about 40 minutes from Montreal. That's easier to say. 1-1 on the way, a big swing and a miss, throw down to second base. They've got him picked off again, but they're going to have to make the run back to first. Tag, and this time they've got him. And a nice play by Ian McMillan, who got the ball, ran it back, and they fire over to first base in time to record the out, and that'll finally do it for the top of the 7th inning. And we go bottom 7 on the T-Bolts Radio Network. 11-6 is your score in favor of Silver Spring Tacoma. Welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network. We're here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the T-Bolts are back up to bat with their 9-1-2 batters, Dom Ford, Cade Swisher, and Lucas Donlin. They lead this game 11-6. First pitch to Dom Ford is swung on and missed. The count 0-1.
So they missed the pickoff play the first time, but the second time they got him. It's almost the same play.
Here comes the 0-1, and there's a called strike on the outside corner. Quickly 0-2 on Dom Ford, who tonight has struck out twice and reached on an error. Tyler Neumann remains on the mound for Bethesda, and here comes the 0-2. This one skied in the air right side. Looks like it's playable for Soderstrom, who comes in and makes the catch in fair territory to record the out.
The ball drifted over to his right, and he had to really reach to get it.
And now a chance for Cade Swisher. Swisher tonight has singled 3 times. He also popped a bunt out. 1 down, nobody aboard. The T-Bolts are up here by 5 in the bottom of the 7th. And here comes the pitch. That's a called strike on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. Cade Swisher next year headed to Virginia Tech. And here comes the 0-1. Big swing and a miss, and the count is quickly 0-2 with 1 down.
So Cade 3 for 4 tonight.
Pretty impressive. Now 13 for 46 on the year. And here comes the 0-2, a curveball that'll miss. And the count is now 1-2 on Cade Swisher out of Midlothian, Virginia. Neumann winds and delivers, and that'll miss outside. It's now even 2-2.
And all of the Thunderbolts rising freshmen have shown that they belong in this league.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
The 2-2 pitch is grounded to the right side. That is a foul ball. But man, oh man, that ball went right over the bag.
Well, apparently not, but maybe our angle is bad here. I agree with you. That looked like a out, but there was no protest from Martin Vincelli-Simard, so...
Now here comes the 2-2. That'll miss down and away, and it's now 3-2.
And the siren went off as soon as the pitch was in the air, so that should have startled Swisher, but he had the concentration to keep his wits about him.
3-2 pitch on the way, and there's a called strike 3. And Cade Swisher not happy about that as he brings the bat down to his legs and walks begrudgingly back down to the dugout. 2 down for Lucas Donlin. And the first pitch to Lucas Donlin will be sent foul out of play back over our heads. And the count is 0-1 with 2 down and nobody aboard.
So we have a Luke Trainer, a Luke Reddig, and a Lucas Donlin.
Here comes the 0-1, and that'll just miss down and in. The count is even 1-1. We have quite a few Lukes. 1-1 on the way, and this one is lined foul out of play to the right side, so it's now 1-2. Neil, I was actually considering changing my name to Luke just to fit in.
Well, you might get a shot at third base or short or pitch.
The 1-2 on the way, and this one swung on and missed by Lucas Donlin. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Tyler Neumann, and that'll send us into the top of the 8th inning. The T-Bolts still on top, 11-6 on the T-Bolts Radio Network. And welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network. We're here in the top of the 8th inning, getting set for yet another big train offensive show. Let's see if they can put something together. They're down 11-6 late in the game, and I'll hand it to Neil Levant to tell you all about it.
All right, so leading off the 8th will be Martin Vincelli-Simard, who was at bat when Keith Torres was picked off in the rundown. He was in 2 rundowns. He escaped one, not the other. So the first pitch from Prairie here in the top of the 8th inning is a ground ball grounded through. Actually, it's picked off by Ian McMillan, but there's no way he'll get him. It looked like it was going into left field, but McMillan made a nice play to pick it up. But by the time the ball even bounced into Trainer, Vincelli-Simard raced across the bag, so that's his second hit of the game. Leading off the 8th, and that will bring up the top of the order in Christian Jane. And in this game, Christian Jane is 2 for 4, scored 2 runs. So let's see if the big train puts some runners in action. There's a fly ball and down the left field line. Lucas Donlin chasing it, and they will not get there as the ball bounces over the fence for a strike. So 0-1 to Christian Jane. T-Bolts lead this one 11-6 here in Blair. The Bolts scored 3 in the first, 4 in the second, and 2 each in the fourth and fifth. The Train 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. Which brings us to where we are. 1 strike to Christian Jane, who's the center fielder. And there's a line shot into right field. That's going to be a base hit. And stopping at second base is Martin Vincelli-Simard, and on at first with a single is Christian Jane.
Certainly not ideal here for the T-Bolts in Rojo Prairie, but they do have an opportunity with men on first and second and nobody down. Neil, a ground ball to third. It could give us the infamous triple play.
Yeah, you've been looking for that one, and in this league at some point we're going to see one. So let's see if Rojo can get at least one here. Here's the pitch, and that's a beautiful curve in for a strike. 0-1 to Gio Diaz. Diaz has walked, singled, struck out, and popped up, but a very dangerous hitter, hitting .320 for the big train. There's a pitch that's high, 1-1. Can you see if there's any action in the Bolts bullpen? And
yeah, we do have somebody warming over there. We'll try and figure out who exactly that is for you.
So 2 on, nobody out in the top of the 8th inning. And Diaz up. And there's a single into right center field. So coming home the score will be Martin Vincelli-Simard. Heading to third and getting in there will be Christian Jane. So the big train is on the board here in the top of the 8th with runners at first and third, nobody out. 3 straight hits. And here comes Brock Hunter, the pitching coach.
And Neil, this
out
is
to the mound.
This is not the guy that you want up in a situation where the T-Bolts are reeling a little bit on the mound. Kobe Cotto coming to the plate with that absolutely mind-boggling average of .462.
Right, and those were 3 solid singles. They weren't seeing eye grounders that got through. So Prairie now has given up 5 hits. And he's staying in there, and I think this is a case of Brock Hunter coming in with some advice to work on mechanics, maybe start a curveball lower, start a fastball higher.
And I believe, Neil, that's Tyler Dyball warming.
Tyler Dyball from the University of Hawaii wears number 5, if that is indeed him. So 3 straight hits here in the top of the 8th, 1 in, runners on the corners. And the heart of the big train order coming up. Rojo checks and delivers, and that's outside for a ball. The runners dance away. You can bet that Diaz is going to take off any time.
Oh yeah, and we also need to be mindful of the potential double steal.
Well, this has burned the T-Bolts before, especially from this team, so I think they may. There's a strike, 1-1 to Cotto.
And Cotto wasn't happy about it. He kind of shrugged when the call was made, but we've been seeing a lot of unhappy batters tonight when it comes to the strike zone.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cotto, 1 in, nobody out here in the top of the 8th. A throw over, but Diaz is back.
Also want to give a big shout out to Clark Boyness to my left, who's doing double duty for us in T-Bolts Media tonight with the in-game production and our social media.
The pitch, there he goes. That's outside, and Brady fakes the throw. And as we thought, events would play out that way. Diaz steals second, pretty much uncontested.
Smart to hold on to the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike to Cotto, who now has runners in scoring position. As Rojo's in search of an out, I think the Thunderbolts would trade an out for a run. 2 balls, 1 strike. Outside, ball 3.
And one thing that you need to be mindful of if you're the T-Bolts right now is that the tying run is on deck.
And he has hit a double to the deepest part of right center field. So, 3-1 to Kobe Kato. And here's the pitch. Fouled back, strike 2, as Kato was hacking.
And you got to give Rojo Prairie credit. You know, he's struggled a little bit in this inning, but he's fighting and his velocity is not ticked down. He's still firing it in there. And all he needs is that 1-out pitch, and maybe we're going to see the curveball.
I hope he gets it, but we'll find out. Full count pitch to Kobe Kato, and that's fouled away. So Kato stays alive, and Rojo's got to do it again. Christian Jane at third, Gio Diaz at second. 1 in here in the top of the 8th. The Bolts now lead at 11-7. Here's the pitch, and there's a long drive to deep right field. That is going into the woods and over the fence, and Kobe Kato jacks a 3-run home run off of Rojo Prairie, and now the Thunderbolts lead by 1.
Well, certainly not what you want if you're the T-Bolts, obviously, but man, oh man, was that done in grand fashion by Kobe Kato. 3 RBI homer, and all of a sudden we've got a ball game. It's 11-10.
Well, as we said, we thought the Thunderbolts may have scored enough runs, and now Doug Reamer comes out. Perhaps a batter too late, but Kato smoked that one into the trees.
And now we know that Rojo Prairie's evening is over in favor of Tyler Dyball, who's stepping out onto the mound. And Neil, really unfortunate if you're the T-Bolts, but you got to look on the bright side. You still have a 1-run lead, and you have not blown it yet. So make sure that you don't.
11 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors for the T-Bolts. 10 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for the T-Bolts. And now Tyler Dyball from the University of Hawaii comes in.
And keep in mind that there's still nobody down in this inning.
Dyball has been in 7 games, 16 innings, given up 16 hits, 10 runs, 8 of them earned, walked 7, struck out 12. He has a 1-0 record and has a 4.50 ERA. So it's like he's starting from scratch because the bases are clear after the 3-run blast from Kobe Kato has made this a 1-run game. And the fans here are beside themselves as the T-Bolts have led at one point by 7. Another point by 5.
Tyler Dyball.
So now Dyball has to go through Soderstrom, Thomas, and Hamrock to get the Thunderbolts to the bottom of the 8th. And then to the top of the 9th.
Yeah, well, the T-Bolts got to hope that Tyler Dyball is effective. They really only need to earn 6 more outs against the big train, but that's much easier said than done. Now every run that comes to the plate is the potential tying run. Except, of course, if somebody gets on base and then the go-ahead run comes to the plate.
So Dyball has issued 7 walks, but he's struck out 12. And he's allowed 16 hits in 16 innings. So, a big appearance by Tyler Dyball as the Thunderbolts lead the big train in a game they would love to win, especially here at home.
This would be a major confidence booster for the T-Bolts, but they are not there yet.
And it would be, I think, a devastating loss if they lost.
I mean, they were up 7-0, so I tend to agree with you.
So Rojo pitches 3 innings, gives up 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And the big train is back in this one. It'll be Tate Soderstrom, the right fielder, to face Tyler Dyball. The Thunderbolts need outs. The first pitch from Dyball is low and inside for a ball. The 1-0 pitch from Tyler is grounded, and it's a great play by the second baseman, Swisher. Can he get there in time? No. So an infield single, though it was really more of a base hit. It was a great play by Swisher to keep the ball from going to the outfield. But another hit for the big train, and now they have the tying run on at first base. And while Soderstrom is not a base stealer per se, we can certainly see him going.
Yeah, the big train, they are very aggressive when it comes to sending base runners late in the game, even in a situation like this.
Soderstrom's stolen 3 bases and has not been caught stealing once. So now Matt Thomas showing bunt. The first pitch is low for a ball. So 1, 2, 3, 3 hits, a walk, and now another single. The Thunderbolts have yet to record an out in the 8th and are in trouble. The pitch, and that's high for a ball, 2-0.
This is starting to get really out of hand, and it'll get officially out of hand if the T-Bolts actually give up the lead here.
2 balls, no strikes to Tate Soderstrom. Die ball delivers. Soderstrom shows bunt and doesn't. It's 3-0.
And now we're in a situation where the tying, or rather the go-ahead run, is on the verge of getting on base. So, got to come home with this.
Tie ball needs a strike. Here's the pitch, and that's nowhere near the plate. Ball 4. On to first with a walk goes Matt Thomas.
And again, you have to wonder, how long's the leash?
Do they have anybody in there?
They don't, but you really don't have a lot of options. You just let him suffer if he continues to struggle. I don't know.
Well, here comes Drew Hamrock. Hamrock has 3 strikeouts and a walk. He's showing bunt, and there's a pitch low and outside. So that's 5 straight balls thrown by Tyler Dieball. He has not thrown a strike. I guess he has thrown a strike because there was a foul back. The pitch shows bunt outside again. Now the crowd beginning to get very restless, and Tyler Dieball's hearing it.
That certainly can't be helping his confidence.
8 pitches, 7 balls, and 1 strike. There's a strike.
Needed that one badly, and he was showing bunt.
So 2 balls and a strike. Well, that's a good play. If they do bunt them over, then 2 runners in scoring position with 1 down. 2-1. No, there's nobody out. There'd be 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. Here's the pitch. Again, he shows bunt. It's a nice one down the third baseline. Donlin picks it up and throws. It's safe because the throw was high and pulled Trainer off the bag. So now the bases are loaded for the big train with no outs. And this does not look good.
No, it doesn't. And Keith Torres coming to the plate. Torres tonight already has an RBI double. And
Dieball is going to have to pitch the series of his life to get out of this, even tying the game.
this one's tough.
So Keith Torres is up. He's got a single, was hit by a pitch. There's strike one.
Huge strike one, but he's going to have to do that a lot. What you really don't want to do, obviously, is give him a cookie.
The infield is in. Trying to cut down the run at the plate if they can get a ground ball to any of the fielders. And there's a fly ball into right field. Back goes Quinn McKenna, and he makes a great running catch. The tying run will score. The runners will move up. The ball gets away from Cade Swisher, and down to second on the play will go Drew Hamrock. So the Thunderbolts playing fast and loose with the baseball.
And we are tied.
Well, that was inevitable. But now you have runners on second and third with one out. And that was a nice play by Quinn McKenna. Had not Swisher bobbled the ball, it would have been first and third with one out.
The big train will almost certainly bat around here.
So now here's Cade Hunter with two on, and there's a foul ball out of play. So 11-11, the big train have battled back with 5 runs here in the 8th inning, as the T-Bolts pitching has just fallen apart in the 8th inning. There's no other way to say it. 0-1, swung on and missed strike 2.
Disappointing if you're a T-Bolts fan, but there's still plenty of game left, especially if it's tied.
Well, hopefully so, or the T-Bolts can come back. 0-2, the pitch from Dieball, and there's a liner into right field, and that's going to get down between the fielders and go all the way to the wall. Into score comes Thomas. Right behind him is Hamrock, and on his way to third with a triple is Cade Hunter. And the Bethesda Big Train shows why they are the best team in the league.
Wow. Not a lot of words for what we just witnessed. An absolute collapse of the T-Bolts pitching staff.
7 runs here in the top of the 8th inning. And there could be more.
It's incredible.
Runner on third, 1 out. And the ball is inside to Martin Vincelli-Simard for his second time up in the inning. This has been brutal. There's no other way to say it.
Tough to watch. The T-Bolts go up 7-0 and then lose the lead.
Pitch, and there's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. So Vincelli-Simard gets his second hit of the inning, and into score comes Cade Hunter with the 8th run of the inning.
Just very, very disappointing for the T-Bolts all the way around, and now we go back to the top of the order in Christian Jane.
Jane earlier in this inning singled. And for the Bethesda Big Train, this is almost like batting practice. The pitch from Dieball. Swung on and missed strike 1. There is 1 out in the inning. That was the fly ball by Keith Torres, which was a sacrifice.
T-Bolts are going to need an inning like the one they had back in the second. They scored 4 runs.
The pitch. And there's a liner into right field, and that is going to get down. It's a fair ball. Goes to the corner and around third, and come in being held, though, is the runner.
Yeah, you got to pull Tyler Dieball. You know, I don't normally say that, but at this point, you've got men on second and third, 1 down, and you're down by 4. You came into the inning
A
with
double
a lead,
by,
or down by 3 rather. You came into the inning with a lead. You've got to pull Tyler Dieball, and they're not going to.
so Jane gets a double. Another run comes in to score. This is brutal. Ball outside, 1-0.
I truly, I don't pin all of this on Dieball, at least not at this point, because he shouldn't still be in. He's clearly, he does not have his stuff tonight.
Runners at second and third, 1 out. And there's a ground ball that's bobbled by Trainer, but picked up by Swisher, who gets the out at first, but in the score is Martin Vincelli-Simard from third, and holding at second is Christian Jane.
15-11.
Oh, we'll call that 4 unassisted. This is brutal. I'm sorry.
Tough to watch.
9 runs in, 15-11. The Bolts finally get 2 outs, and Kobe Kato comes in, who had the 3-run home run. There's the pitch on the corner for a strike. 0-1. Wow. And now Diebold steps off the mound. So a runner on second with 2 down and a 1-0 count to Kato and a swing and a miss. 1-1.
I'm flabbergasted that Diebold's still pitching.
Well, there's 2 outs. It's the bottom of the 8th or the top of the 8th. I guess he'll come out for the 9th. With the T-Bolts now down by 4. The pitch, and that's high for a ball. 2-0.
I think it's actually 1-2. Yeah.
So the 1-2 pitch is lined foul down the third baseline. As the torture continues, in this inning, 11 hits, 9 runs, all of them earned, 4 walks, maybe 3 walks.
A whole lot of not good stuff.
And there's a ball low. Count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, I have 1 walk in my scorebook. I think maybe point streak is messing with our.
But both Prairie and Diebold have given up 4 walks. The pitch that almost hits him, that's inside. 3-2.
I think the walks that Prairie gave up, he did in the previous inning, or the previous innings.
Well, the 2 of them combined.
The 2 of them, there we go.
Not in this inning necessarily, but
right. It's tough to, wrap your head around all the things that have happened this past 5-10 minutes.
The pitch swung on and missed mercifully for strike 3, but in the inning, the big train, 9 hits, 9 runs. The Thunderbolts committed 1 error. There was 1 runner left on base. At the end of 8.5, the score is the Bethesda Big Train 15 and the Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts 11. We'll have more after this. And here's a ground ball from Luke Trainer to the shortstop Keith Torres, 1 up, 1 down, as Luke Trainer led off and grounded out. So the Thunderbolts find themselves down by 4 runs after they held a lead of 7-0. This is going to be a tough one to swallow.
Oh, that is for sure. Considering the T-Bolts can't come back, they're down now by 4.
The DC Grays are ahead of the FCA Braves, so the Thunderbolts will drop down into 3rd place tonight. The next batter is Ian McMillan, who grounds it foul behind the plate, strike 1.
Well, they still do have 5 outs to work with, and it's going to take a lot, but we'll see.
The pitch is in there for a strike, 0-2.
Like to remind all of you that you can find all things T-Bolts on our website, tbolts.org, and our Twitter page, at tbolts_baseball.
The 0-2 pitch is way outside for a ball, 1-2 to Ian McMillan. The pitch, and that's in there, strike 3 called.
Ouch.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Tyler Murray, who had an inside the park grand slam in the second inning, which gave the Bolts a 7-0 lead. The Bolts looked well on their way to a victory, extended that to 11-6. But as you heard in the top of the 8th inning, Bethesda scored 9 runs on 9 hits and have taken the lead 15-11. The pitch is way inside and bounces away for a ball, 1-0 to Murray.
This game has been the ultimate roller coaster. 1 minute you think the T-Bolts have got it, the next minute, nope.
There's a strike, 1-1 to Murray. The people who have remained here are extremely quiet. And there's a strike, as Neumann is just pounding them in. And with a 4-run lead, why not?
And the T-Bolts have no answer.
They don't, at least not now.
They've been sat down 8 in a row.
Pitch, that's outside for a ball. 2-1.
Make that 9 in a row, actually.
And I think the Big Train bench is really riding the Thunderbolts. The 2-2 pitch is foul down the right field line, and the fielders give some modicum of a chase, but the ball goes out of play. So 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, and there's the fly ball in the left field. That should be foul. Looked like it held up, but it went foul, and Matt Thomas couldn't get it. The third baseman, Drew Hamrick, couldn't get it, nor did Keith Torres get it. So Tyler Murray stays alive.
Well, the T-Bolts reeling, I guess would be the best way to put it. They have no answer.
So the count 2-2 to Tyler Murray here in the bottom of the 8th. And there's a ground ball into right field for a base hit. It gives the crowd something to cheer about. So a runner on first with 2 outs, and here's Dalton Martin. Martin has 2 hits tonight. He's also struck out twice, called out on strikes each time.
Well, the T-Bolts, they're going to need a big 2-out rally here.
I don't see why Vincelli Samard is holding the runner on base with a 4-run lead and 2 down, but a ball 1 to Martin.
Not sure I could tell you, Neil.
The pitch, and there's a liner that's grabbed by the shortstop Keith Torres for the final out of the inning. Nice play by Torres. No runs for the Thunderbolts. There was 1 hit, one runner left on base, no errors by the Big Train. At the end of 8 full innings of play, the score is the Bethesda Big Train 15 and the Silver Spring Takoma Thunderbolts 11. You're listening to T-Bolts Baseball on the T-Bolts Radio Network and Takoma Park City TV. Okay, we're back with the ninth inning, where the big train has gone ahead 15-11. And to take you through the ninth inning, here's my broadcast partner, Julian Barron.
Well, thank you very much, Neil. We head to the top of the ninth inning, and a chance here for the T-Bolts to hold the Bethesda Big Train scoreless after last inning, which was just atrocious, if you want to be quite frank about it. They allowed 9 runs and allowed the lead to be handed over to Bethesda. It's now
hit after hit after hit after hit.
15-11 is the score in favor of the Big Train, top of the ninth inning. And would you look at that, it's still Tyler Dieball.
Yeah.
So Dieball sets and delivers for the first time to Tate Soderstrom, who bounces it on the ground down to short. Throw over to first is in time. They're able to hold the foot down. Luke Trainer was over at first base for the first out.
So a nice pickup by Ian McMillan. The throw a bit high and wide, but Trainer managed to make the play at first.
So here's Matt Thomas. Tonight, Thomas has grounded out twice to short, struck out, and walked twice. And here comes the pitch. That'll be inside for a ball, 1-0. Matt Thomas with 1 down and nobody aboard, trying to give Bethesda some insurance. Here comes the 1-0, and that'll be a high strike. The count is now 1-1. Quiet here at Montgomery Blair Stadium. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. This one's fouled off to the right side, now to play. So it's now 1-2 as we approach the 3-hour mark. One, two, the count with 1 down. Tyler Dieball winds and delivers. A big swing and a miss. And 2 down. And that'll give way to Drew Hemrock. Tonight, Hemrock has struck out 3 times, singled, and walked. So he's on the hook for the golden sombrero here.
Looks like we do have a pinch hitter.
Oh, yes, we do. Darius Foster.
Hitting Darius Foster. Number 6.
So the first pitch to Darius Foster swung on and missed. The count 0-1. Foster steps in place of Drew Hemrock. 0-1 the count with 2 down and no one aboard. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That'll be taken down and in for a ball. They're going to say he didn't go around on it. Darius Foster out of Norcross, Georgia, which is about 30 minutes northeast of Atlanta. He's known for his speed and his strong arm defensively. 2019, he played in 39 games for Contra Costa College in San Pablo, California. 1-1 on the way, and that'll be a ball down low. It's 2-1.
Well, Foster is a center fielder, so there are going to be some changes defensively. As Hamrock was the third baseman, they may shift Torres over. We'll see what they do.
Here comes the 2-1, and this one's fouled off to the left side, so it's even 2-2 with nobody on and 2 down. Darius Foster, as a junior at Norcross High School in 2016, he had an OPS of over 700. And he He helped the team make the Final Four in his state. Here comes the 2-2. This one's lifted to shallow left field. Going over is Dalton Martin, and along with Ian McMillan, they'll watch that ball fall in foul. So we'll do it again. So if you thought that was impressive about Darius Foster, take a listen to this. As a senior at Norcross High School, this back in 2017, he batted .361, 15 extra base hits, 22 RBIs, and 24 stolen bases. He was first team All-League and second team All-County. Very capable. And he's committed to go to the University of San Francisco next year.
Don't they have a lot of players from the University of San Francisco?
2-2 the count with 2 down and no one on. Die ball winds and delivers. This one's rocketed towards the center of the diamond. Going over is the second baseman, Swisher. He cannot backhand it, and that's an infield single. And that'll give way to Keith Torres, assuming we don't have a pinch hitter, which we may.
Number 4, Keith
Yes,
Torres.
it is indeed Keith Torres. Tonight, Keith Torres was hit by a pitch, flied out to left field, doubled for an RBI, singled, and flied out to right field for an RBI. I'd like to thank the 9 of you who are sticking through this with us. 2 down, man at first. Die ball fires back to first, not in time to get Darius Foster. Torres, waiting. And here comes the pitch to him. That's way inside it. Almost hit him, and now it's going to go behind Brady, and advancing down to second base is Darius Foster. So Keith Torres now with a 1-0 count on his head. He's from Waipahu, Hawaii. He's known for his plate vision. 2019, he had a .237 batting average at Sacramento State University with a .372 on base percentage. Next pitch to him is up and in, and it's 2-0.
So the Thunderbolts pitching staff with the highest ERA in the league is going to see that rise tonight.
Man at second, here comes the 2-0, and that's a called strike. The count 2-1. Keith Torres, 2018 for Sac State, he made 29 starts at shortstop, 22 at second base, and 2 at third base. So he is certainly capable of playing all around the infield. Here comes the 2-1, fouled out a play to the right side, so it's 2-2 with 2 down. Keith Torres also posted a .395 on base percentage in 2018.
He can play.
2-2. Die ball delivers. And there's a called strike 3. So a backwards K to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 9th. T-Bolts final 3 outs. Let's see what they can do. Down 15-11 on the T-Bolts Radio Network at Takoma Park City TV. And welcome back to the T-Bolts Radio Network and Takoma Park City TV. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and the T-Bolts trail 15-11 against the Bethesda Big Train. They have 3 more outs to work with. It'll be Quinn McKenna, Chris Brady, and Dom Ford coming to the plate. And a new pitcher on the mound for Bethesda. It's Elliot Zollner stepping on to pitch out of the University of Maryland.
So Matt Thomas moves to third base. Christian Jane moves to left. Darius Foster goes into center. And Zellner on the mound as the Thunderbolts come up here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
So let's see what Quinn McKenna can do. Zollner sets and delivers. Big swing and a miss. And the count is 0-1 from the side armor, Elliot Zollner. He's a native of Annapolis. For those of you that aren't from Maryland, that's out on the shore. Next pitch up high. That's on the western shore, to be specific. It's the capital of the state of Maryland. Beautiful town. Here comes the 1-1, a big swing and a miss. And the count is 1-2.
It'll be McKenna Brady and Dom Ford, bottom three of the Thunderbolts lineup.
Here comes the 1-2. This one's ripped towards right field, but playable for the first baseman, Vincelli Simard, who goes over and makes the catch at the edge of the foul ground. And that'll do it for the first out. We head to the second out, or we head to the second batter of the inning, rather, with 2 more outs left for the T-Bolts. And it's Chris Brady. First pitch to Brady will be taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Zollner sets and delivers. And that'll another called strike, and it's 0-2. Chris Brady trying to prolong this game. Here comes the 0-2. This one tapped on the ground in front of the catcher. Hunter, who bobbles, fires, not in time. So Chris Brady will get aboard with what will probably be an E2.
We'll see how they score it.
So Dominic Ford comes to the plate. He has an opportunity to break out of this slump. Tonight he's over 3. He reached on an error back in the 5th. Now Zollner getting a new baseball. One down, man at first, and the T-Bolts down by 4. Dom Ford, the first pitch, he grounds it to the left side, deep at third, and that one's going to go foul. So it's an 0-1 count on Dom Ford. I'd like to remind you that we'll be back on the air tomorrow at 7 o'clock for more T-Bolts baseball. You can catch the game at tbolts.org/radio. It'll be Neil Levon and Nate Kresh. So if you're a fan of mine, first off, thank you.
That
Secondly,
was an E2 for
yes, indeed.
on that play that allowed Chris Brady to get to first base.
0-1 the count with 1 down and a man at first. Zollner delivers, and that'll miss just a little bit outside. The count is even 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. This one's ripped out of play to the right side, and so it's now 1-2 on Dom Ford. Man on first, 1 down, and the T-Bolts trail by 4 in the bottom of the 9th inning. One, 2 the count with 1 down. Here comes the pitch, and that'll miss down and away. It's now even 2-2 on Dom Ford. Top of the order on deck here, Cade Swisher, Lucas Donlin.
Good eye by Dom Ford. That's a pitch he's gone after in the previous at-bats.
2-2 pitch. This one's bounced over the pitcher. Zollner watches it as it goes to short, step on the bag for 1, fire over to first, and they get the double play, 6-3. And that'll do it here at Montgomery Blair Stadium. The T-Bolts fall 15-11 to the Bethesda Big Train in a game that got away.
Well, this is a hard one to take if you follow this team, as the Bolts had leads of 7-0 and 11-6 going into the 8th inning, and then the roof caved in as the Bethesda Big Train scored in the top of the 8th inning 9 runs on 9 hits. The T-Bolts made an error in that inning to boot, and after it was all over, the Thunderbolts trailed 15-11. And for those who were watching this game and watching as the Thunderbolts let a 7-0 lead slip to 7-5, and then to come back with runs in the 4th and 5th innings to take that 11-6 6 lead into the top of the 8th. This is just a really hard game to take. But I guess as a player, you just kind of shrug and go on and see what happens tomorrow. But in that game, that means now that the DC Grays will leapfrog into second place ahead of the Thunderbolts in the league standings. And the Thunderbolts score 11 runs. It's a golden opportunity, but they cannot hold the Bethesda big train and end up losing the game 15-11. We're going to say the winning pitcher is Tyler Neumann, and the loser will be Tyler Dyball.
Yes, and that'll do it for us here at Montgomery Blair Stadium. We want to thank you so much for tuning in and remind you that tomorrow you can find baseball on the T-Bolts Radio Network. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock p.m., it'll be Neil Levon and Nick Kresh on the call. But until then, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the T-Bolts Radio Network.